Yeah. That's about all I got in me. Good morning, everybody. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Very understated, this morning. No, huge couple of games yesterday here locally. Very excited, actually, for the local clubs. I'll give you a little one. Ready? Yeah! There you go.
Series win. I'll take that.
Series win deserves a bit of a scream. And, of course, SDFC. Man.
Oh, that one deserves a real scream.
That's the one that deserves the big dog today. Congratulations to SDFC taking down the number one team in the division in what was the most exciting soccer game I've ever seen because, well, there was a buttload of goals, which was really, really fun.
That is the technical term, I believe, for 4 goals in one game. You go from a brace, that's 2. A hat trick is 3.
Hattie, yep.
And then a buttload is 4.
Yeah, 100%. Or just a load. Some people just shorten it to load. That's what I do.
I actually had to ask. Some people on Twitter said that's usually called a haul or a poker.
That's a good idea.
Score 4.
This is a good idea here. Jose said, why don't you just record the scream? Yeah, the next time I'm feeling good, I'll lay one down. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl. He's the executive producer. Good morning, Paulie.
Hey, how
Did you get a fresh haircut?
Last week. Friday?
Last week. I'm usually more observant. I apologize. Ben Higgins, that was like last week, too.
It was.
I knew that was
Friday.
coming. That's right. You look great, too.
Thank you.
Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us as well.
You look okay, but a little haggard this morning.
Man, my poor baby. 12:30 a.m. Mom, Dad, I vomited. Oh, no. And I popped up out of bed, and I watched my little guy, Bo, 7, standing in the kind of hallway of our room, and he just unloads on the ground. Just, okay, let's get to the bathroom. And then came up just a little bit short of the toilet the first time. Just, and then finally got a few.
Ball 1.
Yeah, finally got a few into the toilet.
Strike 1.
And then we got them all dialed in. Got him in our bed, and then he vomited in our bed as well. So that was cool.
Wild pitch.
Yes, cool. That's cool. It's been a good morning. And then I got him. We got him set up. Hannah took him out to the couch. Hannah gets up about 1:30 anyway, so by that time she was up. And I went back to sleep for about an hour, and then got up at my normal 4 o'clock, and here we are. So yeah, man, my poor little guy, dude. So I don't know if he got what I got, or what I had. Mine felt a little bit different, but. Who knows? I mean, they were at, he's at camp, and they were at Sky Zone yesterday, and nothing against Sky Zone. There's just a lot of kids running around there.
One petri dish to another.
Yeah. It's just, we love it. I love that place. I have a friggin' blast every time I go there. It's badass.
I'm sure they Lysol every square inch of that place every hour or two, right?
It's interesting that you bring up Lysol because my wife refuses to use it.
Really?
Yes.
Anti-Lysol.
Yes.
Is it bad for the environment or something?
I don't know. She does other things that are bad for the environment, but she like adamantly refuses Lysol in our home. Now I grew up, I'd wake up and my mom's standing over me going, yes, open your mouth. It was not going to hurt you. So literally. And my whole house reeked. My mom would buy them she's like, when you go to the store, you need to get 14 cans of Lysol. Every time I've ever walked in my home, my mom's everywhere. Hannah refuses. She refuses to do it. I had to buy a can, and I snuck it in the kids' bedroom just because kids are gross and Lysol works. So.
All right, she says Lysol makes you get sick more often because you're not exposing yourself to the average germs that everyone does, and eventually you get immune to them because you're so used to them. And if you don't expose yourself to them, you actually could be more susceptible to picking up bugs.
Look at her comment in the chat. It said, my wife says, I grew up on a farm. Number 1, in literal cow poop with a pet rat running around the counters. I never get sick. She gets sick all the time. I don't know on what planet she's living in. She gets sick all the time now. She now used to. If this was when we met, I was like, God dang, dude, this is the most iron constitution woman I've ever seen. And even when she's sick, she doesn't let herself be sick. She's been sick for years now.
Well, you're better off with cow poop and rats than you are with kids. Kids
100%.
are the worst when it comes to trying to stay healthy.
100%. So she refuses to use Lysol. Refuses. But when I get home today, I'm That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to walk in like Doc Holliday with a can on each hip, and I'm going to be like, like clear out. So, yeah, he's not feeling very well. I didn't get a lot of rest. I don't feel fantastic, but we're here, and that's what we are going to do. We're going to grind through it as we do. We're going to grind through it like the Padres did yesterday. That was took my blood pressure at the end of the game with like one out in the ninth. What did I have? It was like 130 over 82 or something. It wasn't great. It was my heart was beating.
Leave it to this team to have it where your opponent doesn't go to second base
at all.
That's what
it was like Ben in high school.
And yet you're still anxiety ridden and panicked the entire game.
A wreck. I was a wreck, laying there just going, and Hannah goes, "We have to go get Bo from camp." I was like, "Leave me alone till the last out. I'm begging you, please let me watch this last out." And my hands were shaking. I'm like, we need this series win, man. We gotta have it. And we got it. So again, as we have said a lot over the last month or so, we don't complain about wins, but holy cow, when you step back and look, yeah, there's some dissection that needs to be done on this team, certainly, and that's okay.
We'll talk about the game in a bit. I want to tell you what made my blood pressure go up a little bit just a few minutes ago when I arrived. And you always point out the things that I do that are a little
weird.
Yeah. And now I'm curious for you guys.
We all do weird stuff.
The tier ones. We all do weird stuff. Parking at the office. So I park in one of two spots every single day, unless you two are already there in both those spots, and then I have to go somewhere else. Fine, first come, first serve. I know they're not reserved spaces. I don't feel like I deserve it, but
the whole parking lot is open.
We got the whole thing.
Yeah, we have the whole thing to choose from. Is it normal though that I really want to park in that same spot every day?
Totally.
So this morning I actually got here first. You were a little behind because of dealing with
because of those little behind,
and I beat Paul by just a minute or so, or 30 seconds. But I pulled in, and my spot where I usually park is there, but right next to it is a giant truck, and I still wanted my spot, even though it was probably so I ended up parking right next to the truck.
That's insane behavior, actually.
And then I pulled in. I tried to move to the left side of the spot to give them some room.
No, that's badass crazy, actually.
And I looked, and the guys are actually sitting in the truck. Not. Yeah, they're sitting in the truck. And then I felt oh, this is bad. I have done something really, really bad just because I felt like I wanted to park in my normal spot. And I have an entire lot to choose from.
The whole thing.
And I pull in right next to the biggest truck that I've ever seen in one of the spots in our lot. And then they're sitting in there, and I know they're thinking, this jerk is like...
I saw the truck. It's like an F-350.
Yeah, it was huge.
A beast.
I mean...
It's probably taking up two spots by itself.
If someone was in the other... Actually, someone was in the other spot. There was a van in the other spot.
In your other spot.
My other spot. So it was either that spot or a completely different spot. And I went... with my spot, but next to the big giant truck.
I mean, if I was sitting in a movie theater by myself and all those seats were available and some guy came and sat right next to me, I would flip the F out. I would flip out. I'd be like, I would be scared. I'd be like, oh, are you insane? You're insane, right? Like, what are you doing? Sometimes in the urinals,
no soda, no popcorn. They're just sitting there staring.
You're like, you came here. She hired you, didn't she? Yeah. She's tired of it. You're gonna slit my throat in this movie.
Like, how much did Hannah and Carol Woods Venmo you?
Yeah,
I can match that.
I mean, it's terrifying, dude. It's terrifying.
Eric says obsessive compulsive. There's therapy for this. I do have certainly a touch of that in me, no doubt about it. I don't think I let it rule my life.
No, I don't
but
think
in this
so.
case, I kind of did. And I could have made a better choice.
We all like comfortability. We all like familiarity. Certainly.
What if, when this guy goes out of town, what if he's surprised and we put a big sign in front of that parking spot that says Ben's space?
Ben's reserve.
Who's gonna
spot.
say? Who's gonna question?
I know it would be great. It would be great.
No, I have to respect the sign.
I totally get like wanting to be comfortable. In that moment, though, is when I would have said, "Oh God, yeah, I can't be a psychopath and park right next to these guys. They're gonna think. I bet you they were like, hey, whoa, Who's this? What's this guy up to? Because that's odd behavior. Why are you bleeding? Also, what is happening to you?
I think it's just old age catching up to me. Didn't
No.
your grandpa just
No,
like
nobody
randomly-
just bleeds.
My grandpa seemed to do it.
I'm
Like
not so sure on that one.
walked
I'm
in.
not a doctor, but I don't think that's how it works.
I have no idea how. Some sort of little puncture wound on my arm, and I just saw this trail of blood running down to my hand, and I go, Paulie, excuse me, I'm bleeding, and I have no
I was like,
idea
what
why.
is happening this morning?
Is that not a sign of old age when you're bleeding and you don't know why you're bleeding?
Truly 49.
No, it's old age when you're like, I'm sore.
89.
I'm getting out of bed and I'm sore and I don't know why, but like bleeding.
Because when you're a kid and you start bleeding, it's
Bleeding of old age is a new one. Thank you, Cole. Why are you bleeding? Oh, it's just old age. You know how it goes. What? I walked in and he goes, he's like, oh, sorry you had a rough night with Bo. Because I texted them this morning. I said, I'm a little bit behind, like 5 minutes. And I told him what happened. And I walked in and he goes, well, I forgot my glasses. I forgot my wallet and I'm bleeding. I'm like, what is happening?
Karen jumps in and says it actually is. As you get older, your skin gets thinner and you bleed really easily.
From
it sucks.
what, though? Don't you need, you
I don't know what I hit. I mean, you also, I think, become less sensitive just to like, hitting your arm on things and all. I don't remember. I don't.
Blood doesn't just pop up like geysers out of your arm.
I must have nicked it somewhere without
but you
knowing.
don't remember.
And I don't remember. It didn't feel it. And now I just got a streak of blood running down.
I mean, it's funny, but it's not. It's funny because anyway. So, are you okay?
I'm good now.
You went and got your glasses.
Yeah, and the truck was gone.
Truck was gone.
Which
Yeah,
was actually a giant relief because I forgot my glasses, went back down to my car. I was really worried they were still going to be sitting there in that truck, and I had to go see them again.
It does remind me, though, that yesterday in the open, we were talking about your serial killer tendencies, and I thought to myself, did you come straight from a murder this morning and you have blood running down your
It
arm?
was not splattered. It was definitely my own, I think. I could tell just from the pattern.
Oh, he does take aspirin. He does
yes.
take aspirin, so yeah.
Old WebMD over here. I Googled, do men start randomly bleeding as they get older? Just to hopefully get an answer that benefits my stance.
Do I need to go
so
to the
that
hospital?
I can talk Ben down here. The first link, bleeding from your...
Anus?
Well,
No,
I'm not bleeding.
the other male part.
Really?
Wiener?
Yeah, that's the first link that popped up when I Googled,
Really?
do men start randomly bleeding as they get older?
From there?
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Causes and when to see a doctor.
Randomly.
I would say the first sight of blood.
One drop?
Yeah, probably a good time to go see a doctor.
One single drop. I mean, like to the hospital. I went to the hospital.
Why? That was the first story that
Those
came up.
tubes should not be crossed.
No.
I went to the hospital for diarrhea. You rest assured if that happens, forget it.
That did happen to me once, about 10, 12
From
years
there?
ago. Yeah.
What was it?
It was a kidney infection.
Oh,
I texted a buddy who was a doctor, and he said, yeah, it sounds like a kidney infection. Go to urgent care immediately.
a lot of potty talk on Ben and Woods this week. I apologize. It is what it is.
Mm.
Man, that is nuts.
Yeah.
The
only thing that had changed in my day to day was I was in a hot tub that week, and I must have got bacteria. It was like a kidney infection. Yeah,
God,
it's
gross.
super. Dude, it was jarring.
Was it at the Buddy Ranch? Like, why was it?
No, I was house sitting for a friend.
Some swinger friend,
apparently.
Definitely.
Yeah, because you guys might want to get your hot tub checked out.
ASAFP.
Yeah.
ASAFP.
Dude. Jarring to see that, and like it ended up being, it was super easy. Like you get an antibiotic, and 2 days later.
Oh man, that is so.
I mean,
good.
clearly the most clear sign of old age is just sitting around talking about your maladies.
True.
What's wrong with
Also
you?
fair.
Which is,
And baseball. And baseball. That's it. Did you see these guys? Okay, how are you?
How do you not score from second?
What was Leaper thinking?
Hey Ben, you're bleeding again.
Oh, look, old Higgins is bleeding again. Sitting at some barber shop. That's what there's one down the street from me. I can see myself spending time
I pictured
there.
a porch with swing.
Porch would be amazing.
Rocking chairs.
I don't really drink much. I don't really want to go to the bar every day. I'm like, all right, let's go to the bar.
Really says my lumbago.
My lumbago.
I don't even know what lumbago is.
I think it's something in your back.
I think so too, but I've got no idea.
Yeah, talking about your piles and your gout and all of your maladies. That's it.
Shingle.
I got that gout. Oh, dude. No, I know. There is something like, we're not going to be a show forever. You never know. Nothing lasts forever. But it would be funny years later if we're like, I'll just see you down at the barber shop. And we're just sitting there, at this point, Hannah's left me. I'm long gone.
Sitting at the barber shop.
Sitting at the barber shop. Us just hanging out. Paulie getting another fresh haircut. Ben bleeding out in the corner.
Can you imagine anytime you've called me to like, oh, Paul, you're not going to believe this or whatever. I'm just like, hey, save it for the barber shop. Just save it
for the barber shop.
I'll see you in an hour.
Orthodox said, if you lived near the Joshua Tree Saloon, you'd be a fixture there. I don't think I would. Have I said on the air how we're not going back again?
Said that you've decided that there's nothing.
Was
good
it off the air?
I think so.
Nothing good can come of it.
The last few times, and I thought I reversed the curse by meeting English John. I'm not going back to Joshua Tree until I have a death certificate in my hand. Now it could come at any minute, but the last few times I've been, Jack, my buddy, got back. I got COVID one time. Jack came home and he texted me a picture. He's like, I can't move my hand. It looks like a claw. This time I had weird spider veins in my feet. I had diarrhea for a week. I'm never going back to Joshua Tree. Ever. Oh. I texted him this week. I go, we are finding a new place. We will still spiritually retreat, but it will not be in the desert. I'll tell you that right now. I need a death certificate in my hands. It has to be some sort of curse. It has to be. There's no other explanation.
Go somewhere coastal. Go up to Santa Barbara or something and spiritually retreat
100%. Any Catalina. I don't care. Like anything. Damn it, Paul, you put the picture. I can never, ever.
He's cursing you in this picture that I'm looking at.
Just fully cursed. I was talking to Jack too, and Jack said, oh yeah, he goes, last night, the night I was in the ER, he goes, yeah, last night his girlfriend Meryl, somebody slammed into her car out front of their house. Like her car was parked. Somebody was drunk, I think.
Oh my gosh.
Slammed into the car, totaled her car. I'm like, Jack, we can't go back. If we're not going back, there's something in the air or the water that curses us every time. So hopefully that comes to an end soon. But I do like the thought of being a regular somewhere, like a barber shop or so. I like that. It makes me. I'll be down at the barbershop. I like that.
You know where to find me.
Yeah, you know where to find me. Yes.
Barbershop nowadays, though, it'd be expensive to get your haircut every couple days, every week.
It would.
I guess
it really
you just have
would.
to go. You got to take turns, and you just sit there and watch your buddy get his haircut while you guys all just shoot the breeze.
I figure if you're hanging out there all day, they just kind of use you to practice between their actual clients.
Sure, like it's like getting ground balls.
You're not paying full price for those haircuts that you're getting daily anymore.
No.
You're just part of the scenery.
I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, 7 Mile Casino. As much as fun as that sounds, that could be dangerous for me. But also a decent option of places that you can hang. But yeah, man, we have a very long day. We've got the round table brought to you by Round Table Pizza coming up directly after the show today. How are we looking?
We are a little unprepared, but we will figure it out. I promise you we will, and we will have a good Padres discussion for an hour.
Well, actually,
10 to 11.
We're going to have a Padres discussion for like 4 hours.
And then another Padres
We're going to do the other one there.
We will set the menu for what those next 3 hours and 40 minutes will look like after a quick check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is brought to you by the Grilling Store at Hillcrest Ace Hardware at 10th and University. Good morning. Off to a nice, quiet start on our roads. We're not showing any incidents, no accidents, really no brake lights. If you are out there, feels like you got the whole place to yourself, we still encourage you to please keep your speeds down. Be extra alert. Traffic is brought to you by the Grilling Store at Hillcrest Ace Hardware. Purchase a grill this week and your first cookout is free with 12 burgers and 12 franks courtesy of Omaha Steaks. That's the Grilling Store at Hillcrest Ace Hardware at 10th and University. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Now we'll get things started here at the bottom of the hour with our Padres wrap up. Second straight series. The Padres have lost the first game and then come back and won the final 2 games to take the series. They've now won 4 of their last 5 games. And yes, they finished the stretch of 26 games in 27 days at 13-13, treading water. I got John wearing me out of my Twitter stream saying, how many times will Ben mention that stat on this show? Over under 10.5. This guy celebrates mid constantly.
Oh man,
I'm not now he's 13-13, dead even on average, yes. But again, we talked about it 27 days ago. And we said, look at this schedule. A lot of road games, divisional opponents, tough part of the schedule. Travel with no days off other than the one right in the middle. What would be a good record? And we all said, if you can go at least 13-13 over that stretch, you've accomplished something over this month of June. And they did. So I'm not going to sit here and now say, not good enough, just mid. You got to be better than that. Yeah, at some point, you're going to have a stretch that's a little bit better. But they're sitting here in a playoff spot, tied for the last wild card spot after the 26 games in 27 days. They did not give up any ground. They're still 8 games above 500. That's where they were when they started, and now they've got a day off. Schedule's still not easy. You're going to Cincinnati and Philadelphia. Tough road trip coming up, but I think you did weather a pretty giant storm featuring dark clouds on your schedule horizon in the month of June, and here you are on the other end. I think you can feel decently about that.
Okay, so John is a Dodger fan.
Correct.
Number one. So his opinion is about baseball, especially, is literally null and void, means nothing. Because it's easy to be a Dodger fan. It's easy. You have no idea, John. You're right. It's super easy to be a Dodger fan. We screwed up. Let's just go get another one. We screwed up. Let's get another one. Oh, this guy's not. Oh, don't worry. Just bring up somebody else. Like, it's easy to be a Dodger fan. And then the worst. This comment in your thread is actually worse. Beanie Cat says, honestly, I think I hate these Padres quote fans more than Dodgers fans. So many people in this town not built for baseball. SMH. I think it's unfair to categorize a 13-13 record in a vacuum and just say or criticize in a vacuum and say, now I'll tell you, if King and Darvish and Merrill and no one was hurt and Toddy was hitting and we went 13-13, that's different. That's different. They are underachieving. When I look at what they've done in that stretch, that 26-game stretch, what they've had to do to get to this point, I don't think it's anything short of at least admirable / impressive. I mean, 13-13 ultimately, yeah, man, it's 500. But to look at it from just that point of view and say the numbers are the numbers, I don't think that's fair. When you've got, when you got Ryan Bergert and Steven Kolick not pitching well, and you got Randy Vasquez and Darvish is hurt and King is hurt and Jackson Merrill's out for a week and Toddy is doing whatever he's doing and Manny really being the only one hitting, Luis Arraez swinging at balls outside the zone. You got Bryce Johnson getting regular starts. You got Tyler Wade getting regular starts. 13-13 is okay. It's okay. You did what you needed to do. You need to make changes on the team. We have faith that they will. And then we roll. That's how I look at it. They weathered the storm. It's a storm. It's a storm.
We will break down the final game of the weathering of the storm in our next segment, and then we'll break down last night's 5-3 win for SDFC as they take over first place in the MLS Western Conference. Of course, we'll have our regular features. Don't do this. It is a Throwback Thursday, which means we'll have a game of Real or Fake. Plus, Paulie has some incredible throwback segments for us later in the show. Looking forward to that from 7 years of Ben and Woods. And our guests, Sam Levitt's going to check in at 7:35, and some smart baseball with Eno Saris at 8:35 this morning. That's pretty much what we've got on tap for you today. We'll start it off with the Padres wrap-up, go through the highlights with Jesse, and more when we come back with more Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
But first, let me tell you, listen, baseball may not be for everyone, but Eco Water is. It's for everyone. Every single person out there. You drink water. I know you do. If you're listening right now, that's one thing I can say with 100% certainty. You drink water, and you have to drink water. So make sure you get the best bottled quality water straight from your tap with Eco Water. Okay, get the system put in your home. Not something I will ever regret. And I'll tell you, we like our house a lot, and we think we're going to stay there for a long time. If we ever move, it's coming with us, and we'll just have them put it in there. Never will live without the Eco Water system in our home again. It is phenomenal, and it's soft water. It doesn't wreck your appliances. There's a lot of benefits to it, the health benefits as well. The skin feels great. The hair feels great. Coffee tastes next level. All of it. You know your kids are safe bathing in it. Your pets drinking it. All of it. Get your free in-home water test today. Let them come out and test what you currently have and show you why Eco Water is a better fit for you. Try the Soft Life and alkaline water, now just $9.95 a month. Call 760-350-3338 or visit ecowatersocal.com. Tell them Woodsy sent you. Not everything in life should be hard, especially your water. Keeping it soft since 1925.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
All right, a couple things before we get to our Padres wrap-up. Show announcement. Tomorrow, our manager's report. Time has changed. Make a note. Whatever you need to do. Get to the radio at 8 a.m. tomorrow instead of 9 a.m. for Mike Schultz because they're going to be in the Eastern time zone in Cincinnati. Works out better for Schultz to join us at 8 o'clock tomorrow. So the manager's report, refreshed by Eco Water SoCal. Try alkaline water for just $9.95 a month. Eco Water SoCal, keeping it soft since 1925. 8 a.m. on Friday instead of 9 a.m.
Sexy.
Yeah, it was.
Secondly, we got, I think, 3 pitching updates for you from the San Diego Padres as well. Officially, Padres did place Ryan Bergert on the injured list with an arm contusion. Sean Reynolds was called up from AAA El Paso before the game yesterday. Of course, that leaves a hole in the Padres starting rotation. That would come up on Monday when we are going to be at the game in Philadelphia, and no word on who is going to pitch that game for the San Diego Padres. We can talk about it a little bit here. I got it on tap for the roundtable as well. Many options, though. You could go bullpen day. You could call up Matt Waldron from the minor leagues. You could call up Omar Cruz from the minor leagues. You could bring up someone you haven't seen yet, like Braden Nett, who's been throwing really well at Double-A. I don't imagine we'll hear Schultz make a decision until at least probably Sunday, and maybe not even Monday until he tells us what is going to happen for that game. But they will need to fill probably 2 turns through the rotation for Ryan Bergert.
I'm excited to fly all the way across the country to go watch what's his name? Kyle Hart pitch. It's gonna be
Kyle
great.
Hart is also an option.
It's gonna be super cool.
Me
All
leaving
right,
him
the
out
third inning. Yes,
probably
ready.
indicates that he's not my favorite option.
Kyle Schwarber's just licking his
Yeah.
chops.
Matt Waldron, I would be happy to see him back. He was so key last year. Kind of excited about what Braden Nett has been doing in the minor leagues.
No question.
But he's not on the 40-man roster, which would require a little more juggling and finagling by AJ Preller to get that done. Omar Cruz, we saw a little bit. It's kind of interesting. I actually am leaning toward bullpen day. If they can get through this series with an off day today, and they can get through the series in Cincinnati without, having to go to their arms really, really early, Brian Hoeing and Sean Reynolds and, David Morgan, and I don't mind seeing those guys each pick up an inning 2/3. Schultz has been very aggressive in we'll do an inning and a third. Then I'm going to do another inning and a third. And just, he's been out walking that, line between the dugout and the mound a lot lately.
Well, I'll tell you, it's the only part of this team, the only part that's World Series caliber. That's the only part of the San Diego Padres that is world. You could see that bullpen.
Put him up against anybody.
And they are World Series caliber. They're top 4, top 3 in baseball. They're top 3, actually. They were tied for third, and that's as of a couple days ago, before 2 brilliant performances by them. So if they're not number 2 now, I'd be surprised. They're the only part of this team that's World Series caliber.
I agree with that. I do think that the pitching staff, if Michael King and Yu Darvish come back and pitch like they're capable of,
Sure,
with what we saw from Nick Pivetta yesterday and what we know Dylan Cease can do, that would look like a really, really good playoff rotation.
No doubt. I'll take my chances, man. That's all you can ask for is a chance once you get to the
lineup,
playoffs.
clearly is not good enough, especially on the back end, especially if you're missing anybody. You missed Jackson Merrill, you missed Xander Bogaerts yesterday. All of a sudden, you've got an Iglesias, Bryce Johnson, Tyler Wade, Elias Diaz actually came through a couple of times, so I'm not going to rag on him too hard today, but you've got such a dark spot at the bottom of your order, especially if you're missing anybody. But that's addressable. That's something that AJ Preller can probably fix, and we've seen what they can do when Manny and Toddy and Jackson and Luis Ariz are all hitting at the same time. They can put runs on the board enough to win games if their pitching and bullpen are good. So they're not there yet, but there's at least the makings, I think, of a World Series contender still where the Padres
You
are.
don't feel like you don't feel like you're light years away. You don't feel like you're the Rockies. You don't feel like you're. I mean, they're in a better position, needing less help than a few contenders that are out there.
If I'm the Dodgers, I'm still more worried about the Padres than just about anybody.
I agree.
I mean, certainly in the same category as the Phillies or the Cubs or the Mets, who all also have deficiencies, just like the Padres do.
They absolutely do. And to bring up the Mets, the Mets spent a lot of money. They spent a lot of money. They're one, if not two, in payroll. They had a tough stretch. How did they do in their tough stretch?
Poorly.
Terribly. Yes, I know the Padres were 13-13. And I don't get the sense that anybody on the show is beating their chest about being 13-13. But man, you look at it and go, whew, you do feel, I'll tell you, after watching the games, I feel lucky. I feel lucky that this team was 13-13 after that stretch. And I do think it's impressive. I do. With the very minimal offense, Ben, the way, like I said, the way the bullpens kept us in games and starting pitching yesterday and a few other days, man, it's been impressive. And you know, I'm not celebrating it. I'm not throwing any parades or popping any bottles, but I just don't see how you could look at it and go, of course, mediocre as usual. Like, do you not watch the games? Those games have been insane. They've been fighting hard to get to 500. Fighting hard.
Steve says Padres lack an ace. Well, if Michael King comes back,
then
he is an ace.
Yeah, he's an ace.
Which is why I've said all along they need Michael King back if they want to be a contender, and we'll wait and see on that. Speaking of an update injury-wise, though, Yu Darvish did pitch in his simulated game in Lake Elsinore yesterday in the afternoon. I think it was right around the same time as the Padres game, or a little bit earlier. They Storm players, went 3 innings, allowed 3 hits, a walk, struck out 6, had 51 pitches. Clearly, they'll see how he's feeling today. It's always been more of the recovery that was kind of slowing Yu Darvish down, but he has bounced back from all of his recent throwing sessions pretty well. If he's going 51 pitches now, you can see a scenario where within, a couple of weeks, he could be back on the big league roster. So
we've been saying that for so long.
Well, yeah, I know. What are like reasonable
51
expectations when Yu does come back? We're going to be more than halfway through the season now. Still not totally sure like what he's even been dealing with, and he's just finally starting to ramp it up now. I mean, when did he go down? Like mid-March?
Yeah, he's been out since spring training, late spring training.
Okay, so he's been down for like a good 3 months and starting to ramp it up now. Like, what are reasonable expectations? Do you expect him, like, when they say he's ready, that he's going to come out and be Yu Darvish?
I don't see why he wouldn't be. He's one of the craftiest, savviest, smartest pitchers in baseball who's done it for a really long time. And according to the, radar gun, he's still got good stuff. So I would imagine Yu will be, like we've seen the last couple of years, when he's available, he will be pretty effective. Occasionally he'll have a clunker, as everybody does, but I would think he'll be a very valuable addition to the Padres rotation. It's just a matter of getting him onto the mound. I don't worry about Yu Darvish once he's back.
Yep.
I worry about getting him back and keeping him back on the mound once he's there.
Yeah.
But when he's actually pitching, I feel pretty good about Yu Darvish.
Yep.
And then finally, Robert Suarez did officially drop his suspension. As I'm sure you heard, he was unavailable for the game yesterday. Got to win without him. You got to feel good about that. He will also be unavailable tomorrow for the series opener. The Padres in Cincinnati, the Padres are currently with a 25-man roster, but with Sean Reynolds up, their bullpen remains at full strength. They just have 4 starters and an extra reliever right now with Burgert on the IL.
Yeah, makes sense.
So that kind of helps them get through Robert Suarez's 2-game suspension.
All right, let's wrap it up.
All right, that's a pitching update. We will check traffic, then we'll come back with probably limited highlights of a 1-0 win over the who did they play yesterday? The Washington Nationals.
Yes, the
coming
Nationals.
up next here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, your 15-minute drive through oil change. Well, guys, happy to report no incidents, no accidents, no ladders in lanes. We are starting to see some of that usual slowing in the usual spots. Yeah, we're looking at you, westbound 52 heading out of Santee, but at least nothing getting in your way out there. San Diego summers mean beach days, road trips, ball games. Make sure your ride's ready with Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Drive in, stay in your car, and be done in about 15 minutes. No appointment needed. For coupons, visit SoCalOilChange.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
I love winning, man. I love winning. You hear what I'm saying? It's like better than losing.
Miss any of the Padres win yesterday? Ben and Woods didn't.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got you covered with all of the highlights.
Oh, yes.
It's the
Padres wrap up.
Brought to you by Hamul Casino Resort. Things are about to get real with the all-new Hamul Casino Resort with gorgeous rooms and exciting new eats and drinks. It gets real this summer at Hamul Casino Resort, the player's place.
I want to go fast, but I want to go slow, and I want to go deep.
1-1. And Arise hits it on the ground the other way into left field and a base hit. Wade comes in to score. Diaz is going to try. Young's throw to the plate, and he is meat. Not particularly close, as Diaz just slid in feet first to Adams' tag. RBI single Luis Arise, though, will give the Padres a 1-0 lead. 2-2. And Wood swings and misses. Strike three. Got him to chase 95 up. And James Wood strikes out for the third time today. 9 strikeouts in 6 shutout innings for Nick Pivetta. 2-1, hit hard on the ground right side. To his left, Wade has it, slides, pops up, throws to first in time. Nicely done. And 2 outs here in the 8th inning. 0-1, the pitch. Wood swings, pops it up, shallow left center field. Jackson Merrill into the gap, coming in. He's there to make the catch. And the Padres win this series from the Nationals and finish this homestand 4-2.
Went for it yesterday. Guys brought it home. 2 of the guys that had a couple of days off yesterday were in the fight yesterday and were super efficient and allowed them to be able to go today, even though they went multiples. And but it story starts with the starter today with Nicky. I thought fantastic. Everything was on display. It was, pretty much self-explanatory. He was dominating the counts. Basketball was going where he wanted to. Had a lot of life to it. Sweeper was good. Him and Diaz on the same page. He was lights out.
That's one of those games I felt extremely lucky to win because of some pretty bad execution from the Padres early on. Tim Leeper, I think, deserves maybe a little kick in the shin there for that early send of Elias Diaz, who was thrown out by 15 feet.
There's been some questionable sends or debatable sends throughout the year. That one, I think we were all on the same page.
Yeah, I think everyone's on the same page there.
Hell?
Manny Machado coming up next. Manny didn't have the greatest day at the plate, but he's been your hottest hitter through the month of June and really all season long. It's Elias Diaz, and you can't make that send there ever. And then I think Jose Iglesias might have missed a hit and run because then Gavin Sheets got thrown out by 38 feet on the base paths. So not great execution early. Manny missed that foul pop that he usually catches. You know what it looked like to me? These guys were playing the 26th game in 26 days or 27 days. That's what it looked like to me, honestly, early on. Not saying that they weren't playing hard. They were. Their ass is grass right now, though, man. They're gassed up and tired, and I fully understand it. And to battle that hard, to be 500, to just stay afloat, takes a lot out of you, no question about it. But, yeah, some really poor execution. But, man, when it comes to Nick Pivetta, he did not execute poorly. He was brilliant yesterday. Brilliant.
Nick Pivetta has been obviously really good for the Padres.
MVP, huh?
Of course, he's had a couple of bad starts, but he seems to come through when the Padres really need him to do so.
And like you said, he loves pitching at home.
Yeah, he's pitched extremely well in Petco Park. The 7 innings, 10 strikeouts ties a season high in strikeouts. But the Padres pitching staff as a whole, I think that was their 4th 1-0 win. They also have like 3 2-0 wins.
And a bunch of shutouts.
Yeah, they're leading the major leagues in shutout wins, but they've needed them mostly to get those wins. They've needed them because their offense, other than like 24-0, and I think they had an 8-0 somewhere. A lot of those wins are games where the offense hasn't done much, and the pitching staff has walked a tightrope all the way from the 1st inning to the 9th inning. Now, as we mentioned, Nick Pivetta didn't even allow a runner to get to second base, so there wasn't necessarily the high wire act that we're used to seeing with runners left on base and stranded and dodging bullets all over the place. It was just a well-pitched game, maybe his best pitched game as a San Diego Padre, and he's had 4 or 5 really, really good ones. That one might go to the top of the list, and it comes on a day that, you don't have Robert Suarez. I think Mike Schultz said afterwards, that's kind of like the script. I mean, baseball game can't be scripted,
never.
But if I had kind of had my dream scenario, I'm going to say 7 shutout from Nick Pivetta, give Jeremiah Estrada a nice right-handed lane in the 8th inning, and then have Morihone to face their lefties at the top of the lineup in the ninth inning. It worked perfectly.
Can't say enough good things about Adrian Morihone. The fact that this kid has found his lane, his piece, his part here with the Padres, that's a really good example of a team being patient with a kid, knowing it's there. It's in there. How do we unlock it? A lot of credit goes to him. A lot of credit goes to Ruben and Schulte and those guys for getting it, finding the lane for him, sticking with him in some tough times. The promise of Adrian Morihone was always there, always. And that's why they stuck with him. And he is absolutely one of the best left-handed relievers in baseball, period, the end. What he did the last 2 games, we're absolutely cooked without him. He was brilliant in both games. You tweeted some stats on him, like the number of pitches.
Remember the when he came in the 4th inning on Tuesday, he threw 16 pitches, 15 strikes, and the one that he didn't get
was
called
also
was a strike. And yesterday, through 7 more pitches, 6 more strikes. So that's 23
7 pitch save, dude. Right?
21 strikes, 3 innings pitched with just 23 pitches.
It literally doesn't get any better than that.
I mean, it's efficient and dominant at the same time.
My God, that was good, man. That was so well done. He has been lights out for this team. And yeah, you get to that point. We can ask Schulte about it tomorrow when we talk to him. You know, Jason Adam leading the league in appearances. Jeremiah Estrada creeping up there, right? There's it's such a fine line because you have to have those guys to win regular season games. You can't look ahead, I guess, right? We got to make sure these guys are rested for playoffs. You can add pieces. You have pieces that are knocking on the door to come up to help the big league club. I think we're going to be okay in the bullpen. How they manage it is, again, wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, but there's a lot to like there about the bullpen we currently have and about the guys that are coming as reinforcements or maybe even traded for.
One thing the Padres did yesterday is something that I feel like their opponents have done against them recently when the Padres have lost, and that is they've maximized their hits. Padres only got 6 hits. 5 of them came out of the 9-1 combination.
Yes.
So they actually had them together. It resulted, of course, in the only run in the 2nd inning with Elias Diaz going 2 for 3. And by the way, the one time he made an out, probably the hardest ball he hit was down the line. It was a nice play there at third base. And Elias Diaz made what I thought was the defensive play of the game in the 9th inning on the bunt attempt by Young to lead off the inning. If he gets on, I still trust Morihone, but you're putting a guy on in front of Abrams and Wood. That's the perfect scenario for the Nationals there. But they did a great job after that first game where Abrams and Wood got their revenge, came back, showed what the Padres were missing. Padres held those guys in check the next 2 days really well, especially yesterday, 0 for 8 with 6 strikeouts at the top of the lineup. Very well done. And then Luis Arraez batting leadoff. And this is, to me,
this is the hardest.
Kind of a strange story that we're probably not getting the entire story on, in my opinion. Mike Shildt doesn't change his lineup for months, despite plenty of opportunities to do so. Maybe you'd say reasons to shake things up a little bit, but doesn't. Finally does when Jackson Merrill returns from the concussion list and then says, yeah, but I really like consistent lineup, so don't expect necessarily any changes anytime soon. And then 2 days later, comes out with this brand new lineup with Luis Arraez leading off, Manny Machado batting second, Jackson Merrill hitting third, and Tatis dropping from the leadoff spot to the cleanup role for the Padres. Why? Got kind of some mumbo jumbo from Schulte after the game. Reasonings why, hey, it's good here, it's good anywhere. Luis Arraez, we just kept thinking about it and put him back in a spot where he's had a lot of success in his career batting leadoff. You specifically didn't want to do that, though, for so long. Why? Why did you do it now? Woods, any theories here?
I think Fernando Tatis Jr.'s slump has a lot to do with it.
Okay, that's valid.
I do.
Move him down in the order a little bit.
And as I saw yesterday's lineup come out, I saw a lot of, not consternation. I actually saw people going, whoa, this is nuts.
I texted you guys.
Nice to shake it up.
What the F?
Right.
What is this? So you're like, oh, I actually like it. I'm like, I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm just saying this is so random.
It's so
he
weird.
Hasn't changed the lineup at all. And then
Luis Arraez is a guy that he hits lefties, he hits righties. He doesn't walk. He should have walked that first at bat. That pitch was 3 feet outside and he swung at it and got a hit. Can't complain about the result. It's weird. I don't like the process, but the result, it worked in that spot. So then I think he can handle Gore. He can fight Gore. He can foul pitches off. He makes contact. He's not going to K up, against Gore. Then you have your hottest hitter at the time, Manny Machado in the 2-hole. Sure, Manny doesn't really dig hitting 2, but that's okay. He did it. Then I thought Jackson Merrill in the 3. Okay, he's been hitting the ball really well, righty-lefty. Then Fernando. Starting to maybe get a little bit more power. Schulte thinking, all right, if we could possibly get our eyes on with a single, Manny with a single, Jackson strikes out, maybe Toddy hits a 3-run homer off a lefty, I could totally get it. Sheets in the 5 I didn't really get.
No, and I mean, but with Bogarts out, it kind of changed the equation. I kind of think, you could be right about Tatis. I think this is about Arise, though. And
finding the spot for him.
Well, Luis Arise has said all the right things. I'll hit anywhere. I'll do anything. He's always a positive guy. And maybe he didn't say anything, but Luis Arise hasn't really been Luis Arise.
Yeah.
And my suspicion is that either there was a conversation or Schulte just on his own thought, we need Luis Arise to be him, and maybe putting him back in the leadoff spot is where he's going to feel most
better.
like him.
Yep.
And guess what? Three hits yesterday.
Yep.
For Luis Arise.
Yeah,
I don't think he's going to change it again anytime soon. Expect Luis Arise to be batting leadoff like he did the second half of last season when they killed it. All right, we'll come back. What a night for SDFC. More Padres talk as well. All ahead with Ben and Woods on the Fan. I don't think we're celebrating San Diego FC enough for what they are doing in this inaugural season. Welcome back, Ben and Woods. Get back to some Padres talk here in a minute.
It's easy, and I know why, by the way. I know why, because we're ignorant about soccer, and we feel embarrassed to make a mistake. I was watching the game last night, and I was listening to how they talked about the game, and I went, oh, yeah, no, I don't know what they're talking about. I don't. But I know that I really enjoyed that.
Like strategy,
the terminology, Paulie. And I'll be completely honest with you. I don't want to sound like a buffoon. I already sound like a buffoon enough to where, like, they deserve so many accolades, not just for what they've done, but how they do it, right? How they do it. And I don't know enough about it. That's why we got guys like Darren and Craig.
But you don't have to be soccer savvy to make a couple of simple observations about what San Diego FC has done. So there are, I believe, 30 teams in MLS, just like in Major League Baseball. They don't divide them into divisions, though, of 5 like they do in Major League Baseball. Right. They just have the 2 conferences. It's a big, long, they call it the table.
15 and 15.
The standings. 15 teams in the West, 15 teams in the East. So picture every National League team just jumbled together into one big pile of standings. If you did that right now, Padres, they'd be 6th in their big pile of standings, which is fine, just good enough to make the playoffs. They're right there, doing okay, 8 games above 500. If you threw an expansion baseball team into a big pile of National League teams, had 6 weeks to tell, all right, one spring training to get all together. You're just a jumble of guys that we've pulled from, different teams and different countries, and go, you're a team now. I don't care how well you picked your expansion players. That team would be near the bottom of the National League. There's just no way they could come together that quickly to be the best team, better than the Dodgers, better than the Mets, better than the Cubs, to have the best record in the National League. I think it would be completely impossible. So what SDFC has done now, by taking over first place with their 5-3 win over the Vancouver Whitecaps last night on the road, they have moved to the top of the West standings. 36 points, 11 wins, 3 draws, 5 losses in their first 19 games. That's unbelievable. That is stunning that they could get off to such a good start with, a brand new coaching staff comes in. They've never coached together. Players who have never played together from all over the world, trying a new style that Mikey Varas has implemented, a ball control, quick passing style that a lot of people said, it's not going to, I don't think that's going to work in MLS. And it has. And it's worked stunningly fast. And here they are, sitting at the top of the table midway through the season.
What a win. What a win. I think it was one of those games after we talked to Craig on Monday. We talked to Darren about it last week. One of those games where you're like, hey, man, just go up there and don't die, right? Against the best team in MLS. Go up there, don't die. Or in the best team in your division. Don't get crushed. Never going to want to play for a draw, but you would have absolutely settled for points there. Every single time on the road. And so to watch them come out last night, and of course, I mean, Ben, Iloski last night was insane. I watched it. I put the game on about 2 minutes before he scored his first goal. And I went, well, that's awesome. Now you're off to a nice hot lead. 10 seconds later, bam, another one.
I saw the first one, and then I thought, is that a replay that looks different somehow? And I go, no, he must have just scored again.
Then another one.
I missed that one. All right, it's 2. Wait, that's 3. That's a hat trick in 9 minutes.
4 goals in
and then
12 minutes?
Right out of the shoot in the second half, scored the 4th goal, which we learned is called a haul or a poker of goals.
It is unbelievable. It's called a haul?
A haul.
Oh, I like that. Or a what?
A poker.
Poker.
Yeah, I think they said it was something to do with like 4 of a kind in pokers, like, top hand. So it's a poker.
Poker? Absolutely.
Didn't know. Just trying to learn as everyone else is trying to learn.
Fister? Yeah, absolutely.
No, poker.
Yeah. A fister is what they call it. Because if you hold your fist, actually, that's
4
5.
fingers. Yeah, 5.
That's 5.
That would be 5 goals. A fister. A poker for 4.
Poker for 4.
A fister for 5.
Fister for 5.
I like that.
Dude, he was awesome. It was awesome. He is a guy that doesn't start for this team and he's not a starter.
Not usually.
And obviously Mikey Varas looking like a genius right now. Somebody tweeted last night, what's the baseball equivalent of this? And I said,
4 home runs in an inning.
Yes, it's a guy that every time he comes off the bench, gets a big knock for you. And then you go, maybe we should put him in the lineup and see what he does. And he gets 4 huge knocks for you, in the first 5 innings or something.
Just looking at the box score of the match. It's 35th minute, 37, 44, and 47. That's unbelievable.
It was so cool, dude. So cool to see.
Here's the concern.
Like Messi running around high schoolers in an indoor soccer game.
Exactly. In the media game. Right? It was crazy, dude.
Here's the concern, and here again is my soccer immaturity showing. The SDFC acquired Alosky on a loan back in April from the Dutch sister club. The loan only lasts through July.
Oh.
So in a month they have to give him back, I believe. Now, is there a way, like, we can't give this guy back? He's playing incredible soccer. He's been a lightning rod off the bench, sparking goals just every time he goes in there. Is there a way they can extend loans, like get another loan? How does it work? Is this other team going to go, hey, he's playing really well. We want him back. He loans up. We're not letting you keep him. We want him back. I know there's a relationship between the clubs through the owner and the Right to Dream Academy, but honestly, I don't know exactly how that works. I mean, you can actually loan in soccer. You can borrow teams from other teams in your division. It would be like the Padres sending, I don't know, Jackson Merrill to the Giants for a month or two. You can do that in soccer, which is so strange.
So strange.
It's usually someone who's not getting playing time on your team. You want them to develop, and instead of just wasting away on your bench, you can let them play for someone else. But
like a Camposano when he was here.
Yeah. We're going to loan Luis Camposano to another team so he can actually, catch and hit. And then when he's good, we get him back, and you get a better player, hopefully, on the back end.
Alex is Steve 79 says you can buy him. So you can.
Do they have the option to buy? Is it kind of
it's a loan with an option?
Remember when they used to advertise all those lease to own payments?
Yeah.
I never totally knew how that worked either.
Me neither. The loaned out player can't play against his original team too. That makes sense. You can't play against.
So
your
if you loan Jackson Merrill to the Giants, he doesn't get to play.
Correct.
And you have to go to San Francisco.
What spies can we send over to the Dodgers that won't beat us?
Hey, the Rockies are playing the Dodgers this weekend, and we're only 2 games out of first place. Hey, Manny, you're going to go out to Colorado.
Yeah, go out to Colorado.
That's
really funny. No, it's it was such an exciting match, man. It is so. Dominic says everything about soccer he's learning too, right? He says it's strange, the terminology, the standings, the business. Agreed. I agree. I'm such a moron about it. I fully admit it. But I want to know. I want to learn. I want to be better. And because last night was electric. I'm laying in bed, and here's the funny thing is, so I got the notification on my phone that says season 4 of The Bear starting now. And I went, oh yes. I texted you guys.
Yeah.
And then I go, SDFC's on. I need to check in, for my job. I'm going to check in and see how the boys are doing. Man, like I said, 30 seconds after, goal. Then I go, I can't turn this off. I have to watch this. Now, I did fall asleep later in the game, but I saw all 4 goals, and Vancouver tried to make it interesting. It really wasn't interesting. They dominated last night, and now they're in first place. And we've said it before, man. Getting a chance to talk to Mikey Varas a couple times, that dude's a different animal. He's a different breed. They are going to be a fun team, hopefully for years to come.
Going to get him back on the show maybe the week we get back from Philly.
Would love it.
I think it's time for a check-in with Mikey Varas.
Would love it. See how the locker room smells.
Meanwhile, before the game, MLS announced the All-Star rosters, and expansion SDFC landed 3 players on the All-Star team with Anders Dreyer, Chucky Lozano, and Captain Yepi Tverskov, all going to represent the MLS. It's a MLS versus Liga MX. So Mexican League All-Stars against MLS All-Stars on July 23rd in Austin. Coming up. That'll be hot, won't it? Austin, Texas, July 23rd. That sounds toasty.
Horrible.
But they all 3. And I saw yesterday Paul Arriola, another soccer representative, says, not too late to add Milan Alosky to your All-Star team with what he's done. He's only played 260 minutes or something this season. He has 9 goals.
Insane. The other guys you were saying have
1,700 minutes who had 9 goals, but he's done it in 260 minutes. So now it's a quick turnaround. Now this is the double week, and on the road a double week as SDFC goes to Dallas FC on Saturday for their next game to try to keep the momentum going. Remember, Vancouver does have the game in hand. So even though SDFC is in first place, they have more points. Vancouver has an extra game to amass points. So that's it's kind of, you're sort of in first place, but you're sort of control your positioning in first place.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So
it doesn't. I just said that to move the conversation along.
Paulie, how did you enjoy the game? Or did you watch The Bear?
I watched The Bear.
Okay, so spoiler-free, quick. How many episodes did you get in?
I only had the stomach for one.
Just one episode?
It wasn't that bad, but the show in general is anxiety triggering.
I saw a couple of people who watched, binged it last night.
The whole thing?
Yeah, the whole fourth season's out.
What?
And they said might be the best one. So
yeah,
that's all I saw. I'm gonna watch it at some point, but I don't know when I have time for it. But I'm looking forward to it.
Megan and I watched one episode, and I just the credits are rolling, and it's next episode, little meters starting to fill.
No.
I think I'm good. Let's go. Let's slowly get through this season. Because I'll need to schedule a therapy appointment.
Well, I did something that I never do. I usually get that and I dive right in, right? And of course I was going to watch SDFC, but I'm actually going to sit on it until we get on the plane. I'm going to see if I can wait all the way until Sunday, which is a whopping 72 hours, and not watch any episodes until we get on the plane.
I also fell asleep watching. Netflix has the documentary series Trainwreck, where they did Woodstock.
Oh yeah. They did the
Travis Scott concert.
Right.
They just had their newest one. I think it's one a week right now, and it was the Poop Cruise.
Poop Cruise.
Oh,
I'm gonna watch it.
God,
no chance.
If you were ever on the fence about going on a cruise, this will
a norovirus outbreak on a cruise ship.
It was a cruise from Galveston to Mexico, across the Gulf of Mexico, and they lost power, and they were just floating on this massive cruise ship.
It's doo-doo everywhere.
And because they lost power, the toilets stopped working. They said if you have to go number one, use the shower. And they slipped red biohazard bags under the door of each little cabin
for
number two. And the people that were interviewed were like, I'm not doing it. But it was 4 days that they were stuck on this cruise. And then the drains started to back up because everyone was going pee-pee in the shower, and everything flooded.
It's like the old Oakland Coliseum.
Dude, it was... It was ridiculous.
Imagine playing 81 games on that cruise. That cruise.
Oh God,
it looks terrible, dude. I have no.
These documentaries are oh cool. I'm never
7 days. Your wife says 7.
Was it 7?
Not 4. 7. 7 days a week. Now my bathroom was like a cruise,
they were
cruise ship
drifting
for the last week. So I know I've been there.
The ship was drifting towards Mexico, and they're like, "Oh, we'll be fine. We'll be in Mexico tomorrow." And then they got power back. They got a cell service because another cruise ship drove by, and they were able to get Wi-Fi from that neighboring cruise ship
for 10 minutes.
Yeah. And they got cell service. They got a location, a ping, and they're like, "You actually have drifted more towards Alabama, so you're gonna just keep drifting to Mobile, Alabama, but it's not going to be tomorrow like you thought you were going to be in Mexico. It's actually going to be another 3 or 4 days.
It's going to be next Wednesday."
And these people are just dude, oh my God. People are fights are breaking out. At one point, the cruise goes, you know what? Just give them all free booze to make them all happy. I'm like, that seems like a great idea.
We've got urine. We've got feces. Let's bring vomit into it. How about that? Anything else? Dude. I can think of a couple more fluids we haven't introduced to the whole to the whole place.
It was. But you watch those documentaries, that Trainwreck series, and you're like, cool, not going to any more music festivals.
Right.
Never going on a cruise ship.
Correct.
What's next?
I don't know, when those commercials play during the Padres games with the
It
guy
looks
from
great.
Modern Family who's on the Norwegian cruises, and he's got the cucumbers on his eyes. Looks like the time of his life. Looks like he's having a lot of fun.
What you don't see is a turd running down next to him in someone's urine, just so you know. So there you go. I have no desire. I really don't. We entertained a Disney cruise for the kids for a while, and I just said, babe, I just can't do it. I just, please, if you want to go, I would actually say no. I kind of got, I don't want you guys getting sick or hurt or Taylor taking a header off of the crew. There's just so much that can go wrong in the middle of the ocean.
I do feel, I mean, I've never really done a real cruise, as an adult at least. But I've always been tempted by the old all-inclusive part of it.
Of course you have. Yes. You know, who's a big cruise guy? Adam
Pick
Kluge.
different dining options every night.
Yes, I know.
It's all inclusive, and just you don't have to worry about it when you're on the ship, and get what you want and enjoy yourself.
I get it. I know that it would.
I like a lot of the individual parts of a cruise. Like I like the casino. I like buffets. I like sitting by the pool. But the idea of just being out on the water like that. My wife and I are looking into a European cruise maybe in a couple of years where you're only on the boat for like a day at the most.
Yeah.
You're just going port to port. And it's like Barcelona, the Italian coast, and I think Greece. I was like, I think I could probably get through that if you're only on the ship like overnight and then you wake up and you're in a new city and you get off and go walk around. I think I can handle that. But like 5 nights out on the open sea, I don't know that I just don't think I have the stomach for it.
I don't either. I'm not a seafarer
No.
at all.
Did you watch The Love Boat?
Yeah, of course.
This is kind of a low-key elite show.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. It was great. Love the Love Boat.
Fantastic guest stars
Always.
every week.
Yeah.
Always
Captain
had enough
Stubing,
adventures on the boat and
pretty
drama.
girls on there. Yeah,
it was Gopher and
Gopher.
It's a good show.
That's a really good show. Loved it.
Good theme song.
The love boat, soon you'll be
Making.
What was the
another
premise?
run.
You go.
Just they were a cruise ship, and they went around with different guest stars doing different things every week.
I liked it a lot. I was more of a Fantasy Island guy.
That was it was actually a very similar show.
Yeah.
Different guest stars. They just come to an island instead of a boat
Hey, boss.
every single week.
Hey, boss. The plane. I love it. We're missing shows like that these days. Now we have Love Island, which is
It's a
become
phenomenon.
It's a phenomenon. Love Island. They're actually doing. I should mention they're doing
Casting call.
casting
in San
call
Diego here
KB.
in
this,
San Diego
this week, I believe.
I want to say
Might be today.
I want to say I sent Ben the flyer in case you wanted to go down and do bits. Here it is. Love
Ben
Island.
auditioning for Love Island would maybe be the most elite content.
There would be
in the world.
nothing better. But so here's where they're casting. They're casting at the Jersey Shore. That's already passed. They're casting in Atlanta. That's already passed. Saturday, June 28th. That's this Saturday.
2 days from now.
At Pacific Beach parking lot, 915 Felspar Street.
Love
the
Pacific Beach
parking lot down in Pacific Beach. Just go to Pacific Beach.
That's all
Go
it
to
says.
the parking
Pacific
lot.
Beach parking lot, 915 Felspar.
All right.
2 to 7. So if you want to go down there and join maybe the cast of Love Island for the next deal, then it's here in our city. And my wife watches it. It's all that plays in our home. And I tweeted something the other day. The dialogue is literally like, "Hey, how old are you?" And he's like, 21. Oh, me too. Oh, really? You're a baby. Yeah, totally. Me too. How are you? I'm good. And so I'm like, what are you watching?
Are
Is
there
the
any
moron?
middle-aged dudes on the show, or do I have no chance?
No
if I go
chance.
down there?
It's
Okay.
the weirdest. Like, what are we watching here? And then I saw like they're all sleeping in a bed, like the
Yeah,
same
they
room.
all have one room and the one bathroom that they have to share. But I was reading the rules because you sent this to me.
Yeah.
There's no nudity allowed. They only get 2 drinks a day, and it's only beer or wine, so they
Okay.
can't just get completely.
Is the purpose to
sloshed.
find love?
I don't actually know.
But then if they don't get coupled up, they get eliminated essentially.
Yeah,
but they don't get to go home. They have to stay isolated until the show is over.
From what I've gathered, people will partner up because you have to be coupled up to stick around, and people will couple up to play the game. They're like, we don't even like each other, but we want to stick around another week.
You have to be coupled up to stick around.
And it's I think it's got a little bit of Big
But then
Brother
they introduce
aspect
these
to
bombshells that come in to break
shake
up the
things up.
couples, and then someone gets
I haven't
tossed
watched
from the
it.
show.
I know it airs 5 nights a week.
5 nights a week.
It's like you're just following them all throughout the week.
It's not live though, right?
No,
Okay.
I tried to ask,
But it's happening right
Megan.
now. I think it is happening right now.
I was asking. I was like, "What's the turnaround
It's
from
like Big
film to-
Brother. It wasn't live, but they would, some of it was live, and then they would do mostly it was just highlights of what was happening
'cause
during the day and the week.
I saw some comment on Blue Sky over the weekend or something. It was like, there's a war going on in the Middle East, and these people on Love Island have no idea. Because it is close to real time.
Do you wear shoes a lot? Yeah, I love shoes. Oh, that's cool. I like your hair. Yeah, it's cool. It's like Morgan Wallen's. It's dope. And my mustache too. It's cool. It's so cool. I like shoes. And do you, when you eat, do you use a fork or a knife? Whatever it calls for. I mean, it's like a bunch of morons on an island together. And I'm sitting there going, this is why we're cooked. You know, it's so bad. It's so bad.
I was trying to find. I didn't save it, but that podcast clip from the Hawk Tua podcast. Remember we played it and it was like, "That's a nice sweater."
Thank you.
Thanks.
Who got that for you? Who got it for you? You did. Yeah, I did.
Looks great. Thanks. You said that.
Man, art is really suffering right now. We need good art. We really do.
Seems like a good time to get us into Don't Do This. We'll check traffic. We'll come back. Get to our Don't Do This stories for the day. Keep it rolling. We got Sammy Levitt at the bottom of the hour as well. So we got to take a time out. Ben Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGE 000-466. For a full list of games and rules, played at 7 Mile Casino. Visit 7milecasino.com.
Hey, do you like California style blackjack?
I think I do.
Yeah, I
cool.
do too. It's cool. Hit me.
I like Kung Pao chicken.
Oh, I love Kung Pao chicken.
Actually been hankering for it off the 24.
What's hankering mean? I've never heard of that word.
I got to get back to 7 Mile Casino. Have a good meal at Sammy's. Get the Kung Pao chicken off the 24/7 players menu. It's available any time of the day when you go down there. And then enjoy San Diego's most upscale, comfortable, and close card room at 7 Mile Casino.
Lots of love about 7 Mile Casino. A little oasis right off the 5 there. 7 minutes
Almost
from
like
downtown.
an island.
Almost like an island, if you will. Fewer people like that. Just a really good place. Great food, as you mentioned. Great views. Much like Love Island as well. Great views of the bay, but it's a smoke-free environment, place you can go. You can go for 15 minutes. You can go for 3 hours. They're going to take care of you there. So much fun. Every time we go to 7 Mile, they got all the card games that you love. California-style blackjack, Pai Gow, Texas Hold'em, and Baccarat.
And enjoy the buffet this week, or the brunch, not the buffet, but the brunch, which is the best in the South County, Saturdays and Sundays from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. So much to love at 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from downtown.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
All right, let's get right to it. DDT brought to you by Trust and Will.
Don't
leave your entire estate, house, kids, life savings up to chance if and when you die.
Do
set up a Trust or Will online at trustandwill.com.
This
is a lot more affordable than you think. Visit trustandwill.com for more info. The NBA draft was last night.
Yes.
It's hard to follow. I mean, everyone knew Cooper Flagg was going number one. Congratulations.
Watch that. We were eating dinner. We saw the first pick.
I even didn't know a lot of the players. I mean, 2 players from Rutgers went in the top 5.
Yeah.
Rutgers didn't even have a winning record last year. I had no idea who those guys were. Half of the guys are from Europe, so you don't really know them either.
Right.
Chris Ella was saying they have a bit of an identification problem in the NBA draft now. I mean, can't really change anything about it. They're looking for the best players, but they're also having trouble identifying players on their own broadcast.
Correct.
Yeah. So this was, let's see, who was the pick here?
Talk about a surprise for a radio host.
Cedric Coward from Washington State was selected by the Portland Trailblazers. Yeah. Cedric, Cedric.
Cedric.
Coward. Coward.
Okay. Coward.
Familiar word, not a super common last name, but Cedric Coward was picked, and here is what it sounded like on the ESPN broadcast. You had a little bit of trouble with the name.
So the Portland Trailblazers select Colin Coward here.
Okay.
This is a young man.
That's an odd pick.
The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
He's really
Cowherd.
He's really good in the paint. He can really bring it in the paint. Colin Cowherd.
Slip of the tongue.
I would like
Freudian
to drive
slip.
Mike Francesca, please. My God.
Cooper Mad Dog Flagg.
So bad. So bad. I got another one. This is gnarly. So we obviously told you about the Ketel Marte situation yesterday. And yeah, man, it's an epidemic in baseball now. And really in all sports. And this is Britt Whitlock. He's a pitcher for the Boston Red Sox. She posted on her Instagram, examples of DMs our family received this week, myself included. I do not share this for pity, only to raise awareness. Think twice before you heckle or hit send. No one should have to deal with this in any work setting. Leave people's families out of it. The line should not be crossed. Here's a couple. I'll just read you a couple. My under became over. I hope your son dies.
Reasonable.
I hope you get drilled in your mouth with a 110-mile-an-hour line drive that busts and splits your lips wide open, needing stitches, knocks your teeth out of your mouth, breaks your nose and jaw, gives you a nasty, mind-boggling, violent concussion, and then to see you in so much pain you can't even see straight, getting dragged off the field with blood pouring out of your mouth, you rat scumbag creep. I wish I could torture you to death, you F word.
Well, at least he kept the kids out of it.
Yeah, right. If you died right now, nothing would change in the world. Effing R. Hang yourself. Worthless.
Oh my God.
Blanker. Kid, I mean, it's, bro.
You know, half the people won because that happened too.
That's
so
true.
Where's all the happy DMs?
That's true. Hey, thanks for hitting the over and strikeouts. It's embarrassing, man.
It's
embarrassing.
It's awful.
Embarrassing.
I actually have a don't do this that turns into a do this. So, Paulie, if you just give me the
DD mega do.
Starts with the don't do this from George Pickens, the receiver who was traded from the Pittsburgh Steelers to the Dallas Cowboys this offseason. Seemed to be a bit of a malcontent in Pittsburgh. Well, it sounded like he was going to do the right thing. So they had a kids youth football camp that Pickens was set to host. And even after he was traded, he said, oh, yeah, no, I'll still do it. Cool. Good on you. And then at the last minute, he changed his mind and backed out, which sucks. Maybe he has his reasons. Maybe it's a bad look, though, certainly. And the Steelers weren't happy about it. But congratulations to Pat Freiermuth, who stepped in, tight end, I believe, for the Steelers, who stepped in last minute and hosted the camp. And I'm sure the kids were very happy to get a real NFL player, even though it wasn't George Pickens.
So they booked him in the camp when he was still a Steeler. Then he goes to Dallas.
Yeah, and it's fine. I think if that point, and they asked him, are you still going to do the camp? And he said, no,
I'm not a Steeler.
I'm not a Steeler anymore. He said he was going to still do it, though, and then he changed his mind like last minute.
That's
left him in the lurch.
Good for his team.
It's a step up. Like it. And that's don't and do this for a Thursday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we will come back. In-season Sam Levitt just finished a stretch of 26 days. 27 days, 26 games. That's 52 pre- and post-game shows.
Woo!
Finally has a day off to do whatever he wants.
Coming on the radio.
And he's going to come on the radio with us.
Not the round table, though, huh?
I asked him
because
if he was doing the round table, we'd probably have him on at 9:35 when he's here. So I said, "Hey, are you doing the round table?" He goes, "Adam hasn't asked me yet."
Even Adam has enough sense not to ask. I think he does to ask Sammy to come in after 52 pre- and post-game shows in the last 27 days to not come in and do the round table. But he's going to join us.
How many hours of radio? We've done over 100 hours of radio in that 26 stretch.
Easily.
True.
Come on.
What's one more?
All right. On 97.3 The Fan.
Well, listen, guys, before we go to break here, I wanted to tell you about my beloved folks over at QC Kinetics. Woke up this morning feeling great, actually. Went to the gym the last 2 days, lifting heavier than I ever have because I can, thanks to QC Kinetics now. I couldn't a few years back with a very, very severe, nasty pain in my wrists. It hurt to do literally anything. I had trouble sleeping, had trouble doing anything at all, and it really ruined my days. And I went to QC Kinetics, got the treatments, and my life's been so much better ever since playing baseball, playing golf occasionally, being able to play with my kids every single day, play the guitar, all the things I love to do. So if you're missing out on life, is what it is. The things that you love to do, your biking, your hiking, your surfing, your swimming, whatever it may be. QC Kinetics can help you if you're missing out on those things. If you've got serious pain in your joints, they are not masking the pain. They're going after the very source of it. Please give them a call. Will not cost you a dime to call today. You get a free consultation, 619-614-PAIN, 619-614-PAIN. Find out if you're a good candidate, all right, for their cellular level treatments. Consultation, again, is free. 2 locations, Torrey Hills, Hillcrest, 619-614-PAIN. They are QC Kinetics.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Our 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Amazon. Okay, I've got some good news, and I've got some great news. The good news is that Prime Day is almost here. The great news, this year you'll have 4 days to find deals on all of your favorite things. Shop Prime Day, July 8th through the 11th. Those people on Love Island who like to wear shoes, they can buy shoes.
I like shoes.
I wonder if Sam Levitt's a Love Island. Yeah, he's kind of the demo.
I'm going to guess, yes.
I'm also going to guess.
He's been very busy, though.
I'm going to
every
guess
day.
he hasn't gotten into it yet, but plans to.
Okay. We'll find out. And probably talk a little Padres as well. With Sam Levitt, in-season Sammy joins us right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, your 15-minute drive-through oil change. Well, speaking of car maintenance, we got a stalled car right in middle lanes, westbound King Freeway before the 805. Fortunately, no other trouble spots on our roads. San Diego summers mean beach days, road trips, ball games. Make sure your ride's ready with Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Drive in, stay in your car, and be done in about 15 minutes. No appointment needed. For coupons, visit SoCalOilChange.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And joining us right now, the man who has hosted 52 pre- and post-game shows over the last 27 days, he is our Sam Levitt with us here on 97.3 The Fan. Good morning, Sammy. Love Island, yes or no?
No.
No.
I do not watch Love Island. It does seem like a show that would be right up my alley because they do sometimes, every once in a while, get into Love is Blind, depending on the season and time of year. But no, I've never seen Love Island.
Okay. Well, I was wrong. I thought you might enjoy it. And maybe you would. But you've been
probably would.
You've been very busy, Sammy. Very busy.
I have. And I really don't watch that much TV. I mean, I watch a show every now and then, but I don't stream a lot of shows, period. Even when I have more time. So I'm really not the biggest TV guy, but Love Island, a reality show, would be kind of up my alley if I were to enjoy a show. So you're onto that.
What do you do if you're not watching a lot of TV?
Well, if I do watch TV, I tend to watch like my YouTube TV, right? So I'll flip through the channels, watch the local news so I can get the latest headlines from Ben Higgins
Thank you.
When he's anchoring the news, doing a great job.
Tonight, yeah.
Oh, wow. How about that?
Yeah.
With a tie on, it looks great.
Thank you.
That's a great question. I mean, I'll tell you what I did last night. Okay, I had a free night. I went to the OB Farmers Market. Well, first I had to do a little bit of work here, upload the podcast and whatnot. Got home around 6.
Right.
Watched the rest of some of the NBA draft. Then I went to the OB Farmers Market and got some dinner. I sat outside, ate dinner. I was by the fire circle for a little bit. Enjoyed that. Ate my dinner. Ate a little cannoli for dessert, and went home and cleaned up my apartment. So I didn't do a whole lot. I put it this way. I don't typically like sit and watch TV a lot. Like watch a show. I will watch sports or whatever, or MLB Network or whatever it is while doing some work on my laptop, on my phone. But it's very atypical of me to sit down and watch a television show start to finish.
He's very disciplined.
He's a doer, though.
He's a doer.
And I think that's
I
something.
am a doer.
I think something younger generations are better at than we maybe were growing up. Just going out and like doing more
stuff,
things, or at least making it look on social media like you're doing things. That's also a skill.
That's a skill.
So you're not necessarily always doing things, but you're really good at making it look like you're doing a lot of things on social media at that age.
Sure. Yes, absolutely. It's all about the appearance, for us younger generation,
Right.
which maybe which maybe is something I do and something I got to be better of, not worrying about appearance, but just living in the moment,
I love that, Sammy. It's deep thoughts here with Ben and Woods on a Thursday. We got our pal Sammy Levitt. So 13 and 13, Sammy, Ben's already been accused of celebrating mediocrity. I've already, I think, been called a turd polisher. To look at this team and the struggles that they've had, and to come through that stretch at dead even, having to win the last two games in very dramatic fashion and nail-biting fashion, it's hard for me to not give them credit. I'm sorry. I would say this if I worked across the street. I would say it if I worked anywhere else. Doesn't matter. I've told you when they stunk, because they have stunk at times. I was impressed by the 13 and 13. Call me a homer or whatever. But when I look at the patchwork nature of this lineup, the patchwork nature of the starting rotation at times, 13 and 13 was exactly what we needed them to do.
I think you're right. I mean, I think there are a few different pieces to it. The difficulty of the schedule, both in the way it was set up with the 26 and 27, and also the quality of opponent. You had games against the Giants. You had a 4-game series against the Giants. You had 7 games against the Dodgers. It's the series against the Diamondbacks. The list goes on. In fact, when I was looking at it yesterday, 20 out of the 26 games you could say were against pretty good teams, certainly not bad teams. The only teams in that stretch that I think you could say are really like bad teams are the Nationals, even though they have talent, the Nationals and the Pirates. Other than that, the other 20 were against pretty good, as the minimum, pretty good teams, and some great teams as well. And look, I think the part of it too is just dealing with the injuries and dealing with the state of the pitching and the bullpen showing some cracks. I'm totally with you. I think all things considered, 13 and 13 was perfectly fine. And what it gives me, even though the record is a little bit different, the situation has been a little bit different. I think so far this first half, you've had some vibes after the really hot start of this team just sort of treading water, much like they did through 100 games last year when they were 50 and 50. It's looked a little different, but I do think there are similarities. But I'm totally right there with you. I think 13 and 13 is solid enough to be happy with, and you wake up this morning tied for a playoff spot. All things considered, it's not all ideal, but I think it could have gone a whole lot worse for sure.
Sammy, you mentioned the pitching injuries. What is the sense you get on how the Padres will deal with the absence of Ryan Bergert now the next couple of times through the rotation?
Well, I think what's interesting is based on what was said yesterday, it doesn't sound like they believe Bergert is going to be out for long. It doesn't sound like this is hopefully going to be a long-term thing. This hopefully will be miss a couple of starts kind of situation. So with that in mind, I think the obvious thing would just be to call up a Matt Waldron and have him make a start on Monday, something like that. Look, Kyle Hart is down there throwing. I mean, if you want to give him another shot, at least for another start or two, I would suppose that is an option. I thought the idea that you guys brought up earlier about a bullpen day, when you now have guys in that bullpen, multiple that can give you innings, right? We've seen Sean Reynolds give him 3 innings. We've seen, and now Brian Hoeing's back, and he's already built up to go multiple innings. So that's an interesting way to look at it. Could it be a decision where they look at where their bullpen is at by the end of Saturday and say, we think we can piece it together for a start, and especially with an off day coming up on Thursday again? I think that would be a possibility as well. But I know they've got a guy in Braden Nett down there that's doing really well, and the organization is really high on. I don't know that you're giving him that opportunity unless you think he's going to be able to make some consecutive starts in the major leagues. And I would think there would be the possibility they want that to be more of a real permanent move type of thing to give him a real chance, because he's been so good, and I think they're so high on him. So I would think it'll be a temporary fix in the rotation, whether that is a bullpen day or Waldron or Hart or something like that. And again, you made the point of Nets not of having a clear 40-man spot, which also makes it more difficult. But I don't believe they view the Burgard injury as long term, which makes me think it's going to be either a spot starter for a start or two, or maybe even go with a bullpen day. Considering I do think you have the personnel that would maybe make that a possibility.
When's Burgard's turn in the rotation?
Monday, and then his next one would be Saturday, which I think he would be eligible to come back off the injured list on that Saturday. So if it's really just a bruise, he may just miss the one start, possibly.
Well, so it's such a big 48 hours, call it, today, tomorrow, and we'll talk to skipper Mike Schilt tomorrow at 8 a.m. new time, 8 a.m. Obviously, probably the first question is, how's Yu Darvish feeling after his rehab start in Lake Elsinore? Because if he feels good, that's it. If he feels good, you're not going to have him throw, waste more bullets going.
He's 51 pitches yesterday.
Right.
Otani came back just to throw one inning. I mean, you could ask you to throw 60 pitches if he comes back too.
Exactly.
I'd be surprised. But
could line up in Philly.
It's not out of the realm of possibility, I'd say.
Yeah, guys, I'm happy you brought that up because I agree with you. I think that's the wild card in all of this because I do think you get to a point with Yu Darvish. And when I got the numbers from the simulated game yesterday and it said 51 pitches, I said to myself, wow. I said, that's a lot of pitches. And to me, the next step at minimum would be going back on an actual rehab assignment. But then you start thinking about it and you're like, does there come a point with Darvish, if he's ready to throw pitches in a game with players around him and against a team not affiliated with the Padres, does it just make sense to just get him out there and let him build up in the major leagues if he feels like the stuff is ready for it? So I think that's an interesting idea. I don't know, to be honest with you, how much in the realm of possibility that is or not. I would assume the next day or two for you is very, very important as far as his recovery. We know that that's been an issue, right, about him feeling the right way after these outings. So I would assume that is something of a possibility. And I think at some point, if Yu Darvish is going to come back here, that maybe you just want him to be in a big league game and build up that way if he feels physically ready for it. So that would be the wild card, because when I saw the pitch number yesterday and I saw 51, I said to myself, wow, so that's a lot of pitches. I mean, that means you could be in a big league game and get up to 60, 65 pitches next start, which I think,
take it.
Take it, right?
Yeah.
Take it and run with it. And especially, let's say on a Monday, if your bullpen's in a spot with guys who can go multiple innings where, hey, let's say he can only go 2 + 3 innings. You know what? You've got some guys that can cover that. And quite frankly, you don't know that the results are going to be any better with a Matt Waldron in there, right? Who you haven't seen in the major leagues in a long time. So I'm with you. I think that's absolutely a wild card in the situation as well.
Sammy, enjoy your day off. You'll be back tomorrow, 3:10 pregame show. Padres and Reds, Dylan Cease against old friend Nick Martinez, I believe, is that first matchup. So we will we'll talk. We'll hear you from again tomorrow.
Yeah, and Reds are playing well. I will say this before I go. We talked about the schedule. I don't think the schedule is a whole lot easier until the All-Star break. So this is again going to be a very, very important stretch through the break. So enjoy the trip to Philadelphia, guys. Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you, buddy.
You're right. This is a tough road trip. Even though the Padres won't be facing that nasty kid Chase Burns, and they're not going to have to face Hunter Green. Andrew Abbott, who is scheduled to pitch game 2, I feel like he absolutely shoved against the Padres, lefty, and then another lefty who's been really good in Nick Lodolo on Sunday is how it's lining up right now with Randy Vasquez and Stephen Kolek scheduled to pitch. So, yeah, the Reds, and I think Jeff Passan tweeted about this yesterday as well. Reds are a team that a lot of people are overlooking right now, but they may be as well positioned to make a run in the second half as just about anybody in this massively packed in National League wildcard race. So this is a kind of a low key one of the bigger series for the Padres coming up is this one against the Cincinnati Reds, because this may be a team they're battling with late in the season for a playoff spot.
They're just all big right now. Everything. I mean, there's just so many teams in it. It's hard for me to look down the schedule and go, That's not important. These are you can lose a couple of these. This is it. You feel like really here in late June, almost July. This is the time. Usually most of the time you feel like, oh, we'll be all right. Weather get to the All-Star break. This is like, no, man, you can't. These are wild card foes right now. You have to beat these guys.
And while the Phillies are currently leading the division, that could always change if the Mets get hot again. So you might be battling them for a wild card spot. You did at least pull even with the Giants. Padres now in a tie for second place, have the tiebreaker, quote unquote. So when you look at the standings, when Paulie did the grab up, saw the Padres in second place again, which was nice to see. The Giants have been actually worse with Rafael Devers than they were before, which is odd. You don't think
the Red
that's
Sox have
hold,
been way worse, though.
Yeah, both teams got worse with that trade.
Yeah.
Congratulations. That's a bad trade for both teams. We'll come back, reset things. Eno Saris in hour number 3 next on The Fan.
All right, we are halfway home on the Ben and Woods program today. It is Thursday, June 26th. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl, executive producer. Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us as well. You were surprised by my breakfast.
I was.
Very thin, cold pork chop.
Pork chop.
It is an odd breakfast.
Well, I mean, good protein. I'm not going to cast aspersions. I believe in eating breakfast for dinner, dinner for breakfast, any time of the day. I don't limit myself that way. I was wondering though, you got out of here pretty fast yesterday. You had
I went down to Sedano Ford.
That's right.
For the blood drive. It was great.
Good.
I'll talk about that, but go ahead.
No, and then did you go to your workout? You
went to the gym.
Went okay?
Yeah, it was the hardest workout of my entire life.
All right.
Ever.
Just checking. Because we had some fun here. The crew from Better Buzz came in and had some treats.
I missed all
drinks and breakfast. I had a good yogurt bowl that was delicious.
Now,
new acai bowls.
Well, I had made some pork chops the other night, and I was, this morning grabbing some stuff, and I was like, "Ooh, yeah, they're gonna go to waste if I don't eat them." And I said, "Well, I need the protein, and if I fill up on some protein, that means I won't eat a ton of round table pizza." So, let's try to be better, trying to make better decisions. Now, pork isn't the greatest, but it's good protein. The other
I agree.
Yeah.
And hey,
hot beef.
You don't want it to go to waste. So that's
exactly
smart.
right.
I've been pretty good this week. I've actually dropped a couple of pounds trying to, as we said, pre-lose the weight before Philadelphia and cheesesteaks and pretzels and whatever else we're going to be eating while we're in Philly for a couple of days. So, yeah. And then, I had a good day yesterday. I went and after the Better Buzz, Amanda and the folks came in, went to Channel 10, and I had a story running yesterday for Pride Month on Billy Beane. Not the general manager, formerly the A's general manager, but the Billy Beane, who was the player who came out of the closet after his career, played for the Padres in the mid 1990s for 3 seasons, and then just abruptly retired in 1995. And I remembered the story. Obviously, it was pretty big.
Yeah.
But I was able to find in our archives the interview he did on ABC with Diane Sawyer in 2006 when he kind of made it official and public and made the announcement and told the story of his career. And it really was fascinating and almost heartbreaking to hear him talk kind of in his own words about his career. He didn't grow up like he didn't want to be gay growing up. He wanted to be a baseball player, and he was like, no, I'm just going to put my head down. And he got married and like, I'm not going to do this. But in his heart, I think he always kind of knew. And then finally, it's like in his late 20s, he just realized this. I'm not being.
I've got to be myself.
This is not who I am. So, he took the leap and met someone, Sam, who ended up being his relationship. Lived at his house in Del Mar, but secretly couldn't tell any of his teammates. And he told a story. He said about a time a couple of teammates just randomly popped over, and Sam had to like climb out the back window and sit in his car.
Jeez.
And it was Brad Osmus and Trevor Hoffman who came over to his house to just hang and chill.
Yeah.
But Sam's sitting out there in the car. And then the real heartbreaking part of the story, Sam had a ruptured pancreas and died like unexpectedly. He found him, and it was like the morning of a game day. And he like called 911 and he went off to the hospital, and Billy felt like, I got to go play. What do I tell you? He gets there. He's usually a pinch hitter. He's in the starting lineup. He used to play that day.
Oh my God.
And then Sam dies, and he can't really tell anybody like who this guy was.
Oh,
he didn't even go.
God.
He said, I didn't even go to his funeral. And he said, I've regretted that for like the rest of my life. And it was one of the reasons why I felt like I have to come out and be honest with myself. I can't let this happen again. People that I care about, that I am treating poorly because I am trying to live this secret double life. So he ended up retiring from baseball in 1995 because he hadn't told anyone, and it was just too much for him to take. He felt like he probably could have played another 3 or 4 years in the big leagues, which was always his dream, but didn't feel like he was able to keep doing it at the time. Of course, it ended up being a pretty good story. He joined Major League Baseball commissioner's office as vice president, part of their like inclusion efforts, and saw him around Petco Park a bunch over the last 10 years. I interviewed Tom Seidler. They became friends, and as he was here and, talked about his impact on the game. Then, of course, Billy passed away of leukemia last year, sadly, at just the age of 60.
I remember that. Yep. What a story.
But it was an incredible story, and just I had not remembered some of those details.
Yeah, no
about
doubt.
Just like how hard it was for him during his career, because he didn't want it. He wanted to be a baseball player.
Just wanted to play ball, and
at some point he just couldn't deny the truth of who he was.
That's crazy, man. Crazy. It's a good story, Benjamin.
So
it was a heavy one for you.
It was heavy. I thought, but I thought it was worth. I thought it was worth telling.
Yeah,
Again, for anyone who didn't see the story on Channel 10 last night, I just thought it was worth going back through, because we probably all heard it at some point, but you forget so easily. Even someone who's followed sports and followed that pretty closely, you forget some of the details.
Can't imagine how hard that would be in that locker room, and you're just like, oh boy, this is a challenge. It's challenging no matter where you are, but in a sports environment, massively challenging.
I asked Tom, just as part of the story, I didn't put it in, but do you think things have changed enough that if someone decided to come out and play now openly gay, that it's
happened?
Not in baseball.
But it's happened. It's happened in sports.
I feel like it would be okay now.
I do too.
I think the younger generation, they're just different. I think it's more accepted.
No,
baseball's still
the
fans
tough. Would be terrible. The fans are terrible now.
It doesn't matter.
The fans will always be terrible. That's one thing that we can always say about fans. They will always be terrible. There's always going to be a faction of fans that are the worst, and they would be merciless. But they're always merciless. They're merciless anyway, so I do think absolutely would be accepted in the locker room. Not by everybody, but I do think it'd be much easier now than it was in his time.
Yeah. I mean, I understand people have strong religious beliefs and what they believe is right and not. And you're certainly allowed to have those beliefs yourself. But I do believe when I hear something like Billy, I mean, he truly said, I would have done anything not to be gay.
Crazy,
I would have done anything. I wanted to be happy with my marriage and my wife and just play my baseball career. And at some point, he just I am totally living a lie.
Yeah, he's like, I cannot do this anymore.
Can't do this anymore.
God, it's amazing, man. Amazing. That's an amazing story, Benji. Thanks for sharing that. Really, really good.
You're welcome.
I don't know how to transition from that at all.
That's true.
I do not know how to segue. You're the segue master.
Had something, but it doesn't. You can't follow.
So anyway, Love Island was pretty good.
I did want to talk about. You mentioned your time at Sedano Ford yesterday, and I saw you had a big social media video yesterday.
I was really hoping you wouldn't bring this up.
I'm not even making. I'm not making fun of you. Was it the greatest reel I've ever seen? Not quite. What I am so proud of you.
You bastard.
You did it all by yourself. You only had to call me one time.
One time.
I thought for sure I was going to be spending my afternoon making your Sedano Ford reel for you.
Kind of the reason I called him, hoping that he would offer.
I did not.
And he did it.
I did not.
He stuck to his guns.
I said,
damn it.
Here's how you do it. I think you can figure it out. It's pretty much just drop clips in. Instagram has their own integrated templates and stuff. You just drop the clips in. I was like, and if you still can't figure it out, just send them to me. I'll probably end up doing it.
So the evolution of this goes as follows. I walk out of the studio a couple days ago, and there's Adam and the sales guy waiting for me. Hey, do you have a minute? Sure. I like to help. Hey, could you go down? Literally all we need is like a 15-second video. I'm down at Sedano Ford. Check out the deals. I go, you know what? Fine. In the interest of being a good employee and a good representative, and I do love Sedano Ford, I'm happy to help. You know me. Always willing to lend a hand. San Diego's concierge, as it were. You need your ball authenticated? I'm the guy you come to ask. Whatever you need. I'm the guy you come to. So I said, sure, I'll do it. Later on that afternoon, I got an email from the sales guy. Okay, here's what is expected. I go, well, that's a little bit more than a 15-second video. So then I start to panic.
It was like a storyboard.
And I went, okay, this is more than, hey, what's up, guys? It's Woodsy. I'm out here. Check out this new Bronco. All right, have a good day. See you later. That I can do in my sleep. So I'm now underwater in panic.
Let's get some B-roll of the cars on the floor.
I'll have you
Let's get some transitions.
And we'll start at your feet.
What's B-roll?
We'll start at your feet. We'll pan up.
It's like jelly roll.
We'll pan up, and then there'll be you. And I'm like, what? I thought this was a 30-second video max. Like, okay. And so I text the sales guy. I go, hey, man, this is a little bit more than He goes, no, I just want to set you up for success. I go, okay, well, I just want to deliver. So then I get down there yesterday. And I get down there yesterday. And I go, oh, God, what am I going to do? So I call Paulie. I go, hey, what's the best way to do a reel? Like, how do I do reels? Because they want the front, they want the blood drive, and they're in multiple. I'm not gonna film myself walking. Okay, now let's walk over to the blood drive, which is all I am.
You're just running down the hall.
By the way, it was up 3 flights of stairs too. Hey, come get blood at Sedano Ford.
Oh my
so
God.
I call Paulie and I go, I really don't know how to do it, so I don't know what to do. And so he walked me through it. And I did
He's like, how do you do this? I'm like, well, I use a couple of different third-party apps that are meant for video editing and stuff like that.
And so the other thing is too, and somebody pointed it out when I posted the reel, my camera looks like it's covered in sunscreen. It's foggy, and I've wiped it. I keep wiping it. It looks like it's covered in sunscreen.
Mine does that too.
It's the only way I can describe it.
Is that an old person thing as well?
It's
somehow?
a boomer thing. And yes, I am wearing my Sedano Ford polo. Right
Very
now.
nice.
Thank you, Paulie, for throwing it over here.
Of course.
But Curtis says asking Woods to do a reel is like asking Luis Ariz to do a home run derby. It's such a good point that you make.
Making reels is hard.
It is hard.
But it's not impossible.
It's not impossible. Yeah, it's hard.
Very, very hard.
It's not
But
impossible.
It's not impossible.
So I did it, and I sat in the car after, and I watched it, and I went, all right, it's not terrible. I wonder if Paul's going to say something. It's the first thing I thought is Paul's the master at it. He does such a great job. Oh, no.
Blood drive.
Oh, you don't have to show it. Oh, no.
Some of the absolutely spectacular
I look okay in
deals
it,
they
though,
have out
for
here.
once.
Incredible deals for 4th of July.
I
There's
was
even a
missing my
rumor.
sunglasses.
We're gonna have a
Yeah,
deal
you're
for
squinty.
you.
It
was
was
bright.
squinting. Yeah.
I didn't have my sunglasses.
The new trucks that they have. So, look, it's a great place to be. Supporting the community today, giving blood. Let's go inside. All right, over here at
Look at that.
Transition.
Look at
their first
that
annual
transition.
blood drive.
I had to do 2 takes of
I
that.
see too well. Is that Michael Bay over
I had
there?
to do 2 takes of that.
Thank you. Thank you,
Now I'm out of
Manny,
breath,
for
too. It's
carrying
great.
us. Local veteran-owned
Concerning
dealership.
that you've only walked
Should be
about
a great 4th of July.
100 feet.
Bro, it was up 3 flights of stairs. I just said 3 flights of stairs. Thank you guys for what you're doing.
Little
was
powder
terrible.
to take on off some of the shine.
The
as people
shine.
are pointing out, shiny forehead.
Very
Jeter
shiny
says,
forehead in there for sure.
Got to work on your outdoor lighting.
It's my first reel though. First one I've ever done.
Yeah, you're one ahead of me. So
Now here's the
congratulations.
problem. Hey, we love that. Can you do another one next week? And be like, So that's what's gonna
Who
happen.
you telling?
That's what's
You
gonna
get punished for doing a good job.
happen. I know. That's exactly right. Yeah, so true. So
There is that phenomenon of, and I hate to ever be guilty of it, but feigning ignorance so you don't get asked to do something.
it's called weaponized incompetence, and I've learned about it being married. And so here's a perfect example, and this is perfect, and it ties in brilliantly. So we bought the big Ben bus, as we call it, the Sprinter van, and we've used it. We love it. My wife drives it all the time. We've taken on a bunch of road trips. Phenomenal.
Mhm.
Great purchase, great investment. Super happy. Taylor, my 4-year-old, has crapped in it twice in the last week, and we had made a rule. We are not crapping in the van. It's a rule for every rock band on the road. You don't go number 2 in the van. Yes, it has a toilet. Yes, yes, technically you can. We don't. We're not going to do it. Everybody agree? Yes, all for one, all for one for all.
Because then there's a process that has to happen.
Indeed, sir. So 2 days this week, Taylor really had to go. I go, really had to go? His school is 700 yards from our house. You couldn't make it home? No, he really. I go, no, he wanted to crap in the van. That's the thing. He just wanted to poop in the van.
I was gonna say, this is while the van is moving. Like you're
she stopped
transition.
it. She stopped it.
I know, but like
it's not at home.
It wasn't parked in the driveway.
No.
He was out playing. He goes, I got to go to the bathroom. I'm just going to climb into the van here.
Correct. She, Mom, I have to go poop. Oh, just go in the van. And I go, all right. So now we have 2 turds in there. And I said, so now we went from we're never going to do this to now in an extreme emergency. Extreme. Like I had an extreme emergency pretty much all last week. Even I was able to hold it. Nice for. I think he just likes pooping in the van. In fact, she sent me a picture of him pooping in the van. And so yesterday she goes, we have to go empty this poop. And I go, okay. So we go down to the beach in Cardiff, across from Seaside Market, Seaside. And
By
they have
the campgrounds there.
Yeah, the campgrounds. And that's where you go. That's where you do it.
That's where all the RVs go. So
pull in, pay the fee, so we park. And I go, so do you know how to do this? She goes, vaguely. I watched a YouTube video and I go, okay, how can I help? She goes, why don't you take the kids and get out of here? I go, it's great. See you later. And so I left.
Oh no.
So we're walking.
Now you still don't know how to do it.
Now I still don't know how to do it. So we're walking and around the beach. No kidding. A tier 1 drives by on his bike. He goes, Woodsy? I go, yeah, how you doing, man? He goes, oh, good, man. Just camping with my wife. And I go, oh, cool. He goes, what are you doing here? I go, oh, my wife's just emptying the crapper over there, and I'm taking care of the kids. And he looked at me and kind of laughed. I think his name was Justin. He kind of laughed, and I was like, hey, man, you know how I do it. She goes, get out of here. I don't want to see you or them. You're not going to be helpful. So leave. I go, no problem.
Weaponized incompetence.
Brilliant. Brilliant when you can do it.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
And now the van is
clean.
Pristine.
Pristine.
Until Taylor decides it's time.
New favorite pastime. You don't go number 2 in the van.
All right, it's a Throwback Thursday on this very scatological Padres talk show. We've got a game of real or fake. If you want to try to qualify for our grand prize trip to Las Vegas, we're nearing the end of the month here. Your opportunity to get in, real or fake, is coming up next. If you want to be our contestant, call now, 833-288-0973. We'll play. When we come back, then Eno Saris is going to join us for some smart baseball talk from The Athletic at the bottom of the hour on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. First, though, Woods and I want to tell you about something that you need to get done. Even if you don't want to think about it, even if you've been putting it off, even if you feel like, I'm young, I'm in my 30s, I'm in my early 40s, I don't need to worry about this yet. You don't know when your time is going to come, and you want to make sure that your family is taken care of when you're gone by going to trustandwill.com and getting some legal documents.
Yeah, no question, Benny. It is, like you said, it's not something you really want to think about, but it's something that you absolutely should. And I don't want to be judgmental because I was this way for many, 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 many years. Kind of irresponsible not to.
Yeah.
Certainly
not responsible if you don't.
I certainly get your reservations. I had them myself. Trust and Will made it so easy. Sat down, did it, knocked it out over the holidays. When you check out, go to trustandwill.com, and then when you check out, use the code FAN, F-A-N. You're going to get 20% off plus free shipping of your estate documents. It's that easy.
Keep your family out of probate court. Get the peace of mind that you know that no matter what, you've got at least something there that will guide them through a very difficult process if it ever does occur by going to trustandwill.com. Use that code FAN at checkout. No lawyer's office required at trustandwill.com.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Another quick reminder, at this time tomorrow, we'll have just wrapped up our conversation with Mike Schilt because our manager's report's going to be an hour earlier, time difference and all, in Cincinnati, so make sure you tune in tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eno Saris coming up in just a couple of minutes, but right now it is time to play our weekly game, Throwback Thursday, of Real or Fake.
Some are here for the compelling sports talk with Ben and Woods. You can go plow through another donut. It's time for Real or Fake on 97.3 The Fan. Tell the people what they'll win today.
I will tell the people in just a second. First, I will remind you, Real or Fake is brought to you by Bay Alarm Security and Fire Alarms for every business. We got you. And this is interesting. All right. We got Guy on the line. Now, Guy, is a regular Take on Woods contestant.
He's a Hall of Famer.
But this is Real or Fake, and he's calling in. Now, Guy, are you calling in because you think I've got another Better Buzz gift card to give away and you want to make sure you get one this week?
That was my motivation for sure.
It was.
Okay.
Well,
you're
I've
good.
got good news for you. Just for calling in today, I've got a $50 Better Buzz gift card for you. Check out their Summer Flings menu coming in hot right now at betterbuzzcoffee.com. Now, let's see if we can qualify you for Las Vegas and our grand prize, which is the 2-night stay at Resorts World, the spa passes, and the food and beverage credit at the Elevated Pool Complex. Visit rwlasvegas.com to book your complex. You're not going up against Woods. He's actually here and can help you in Real or Fake. So here's today's game. In anticipation of the Padres and our trip to Philadelphia, I have researched the city's top cheesesteak establishments. Today on Real or Fake, I'll give you a name. You tell me if it's a real Philly cheesesteak emporium or a fake I've thrown in to fool you. Guy, are you ready to play?
I'm ready.
All right. Woods is standing by if you need some help. Round number 1, you need 4 of 7 right to qualify. Chubbies, real or fake?
Let's go fake.
Real. Considered one of the best ones in town. All right, that's 0 for 1. Let's go to round number 2. Ishkabibbles.
That sounds like BS to me. What do you think, Woods?
It sounds so fake that it might be real. Ishkabibbles?
Ishkabibbles.
Damn it. Fake.
Sounds like some gibberish Ben made up.
All right, fake.
Guy, final answer? Fake?
Fake? Yeah, real.
It's real, damn it.
You may have been better off waiting for a little take on Woods, Guy, but I don't know. You can still come back here. Round number 3. Mooch and lose. Mooch and lose. Real or fake?
Woodsy, I'm got this so obscure. I'm gonna go fake again.
Yeah, I can see it in his eyes. It's fake.
My eyes give it
fake.
away.
Yes.
Yeah, it's fake.
Moose and lose.
Mooch and lose.
Mooch and lose.
All right. Try to keep poker face here either way. Round number 4, cheesesteak establishments. Ziggy's. Real or fake? Ziggy's.
You say
Ziggy's.
Ziggy's or Figgies?
Ziggy's with a Z. Ziggy's.
I go real.
Fake.
It's fake.
Oh,
now
no.
we're now towing the line.
Ziggy's a delicious pizza joint chain in Wichita,
No,
Kansas.
but not a cheesesteak place in Philly. All right, that means you're going to get 3 in a row right. This
Always
is going to be
happens.
tough.
Always happens.
Donkey's Place. Real or fake?
And
Donkey's Place.
Again, sounds like BS to me. What do you think, Wood?
Fake.
Yeah, fake it.
Oh no,
It's real? Oh my God!
It's real.
I thought that was in
Sorry,
TJ. I thought I heard about that down there.
I'm sorry. You still get the Better
That's all
Buzz
right.
gift
I got free
card.
coffee.
Yeah, you got
got
free
the coffee. Paulie will get your name into the system. Hang on the line. Woods, how about Uncle Nunzio's?
Fake.
Fake. Skinny Joey's.
Fake.
Real.
Oh, I'm not eating at a place called Skinny Joey's. I want
Supposed
Fat
to be-
Joey's.
That one's supposed to be really good too.
Yeah, but I want Fat Joe. I want Fat
Ishkabibbles,
Joey's.
one of the best in town, and Donkey's Place gets very high reviews as well.
I bet it does.
I bet it does. You ever been?
No, I've never been.
No,
Not
to
that place.
You know what I'm talking about.
I have no idea.
He may actually.
He
not
might
know.
not know. You're right, Paulie.
I know.
He
I know what you're
actually-
talking
You know
about.
what I'm talking
He
about.
may not actually know.
That's a.
We'll tell you during the break.
It's not a cheesesteak emporium, is what you're saying.
No, not by a long stretch. That's an interview I'd like to do. Maybe on Ben and Woods off the air. Fascinating.
Who? Somebody that's
Anyways,
been?
yes, of course. Not a participant, obviously, but maybe someone that's been.
I don't know.
I know you're out there. I know you're listening right now. Some of you are cloaked in shame right now listening to that.
Some of you are sitting next to your wife and be like, I don't know what
I
they're
have
talking
no idea
about.
what they're talking about. All right, go ahead.
All right, we got Eno Saris, a little smart baseball coming up. After a quick timeout, do not go away. Ben and Woods continuing here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Maybe you spent too much time at Skinny Joey's and you're no longer skinny. Well, I can help you out with that. Thanks to sdfatloss.com. You can lose weight fast. You can lose weight safely. You can keep the weight off, and you can even do it during the summer fun months. They can help you lose weight despite summer barbecues and vacations and travel and airports by sticking to the plan, even if there's a cheat day here or there. I had some. I did it over the summer a couple of years ago, and I lost 40 pounds in 60 days. They will set you up to lose up to a pound of fat per day and 10 to 20% of your body weight in 2 months with no injections and no exercise required. And they're not going to sell you shakes to drink or bars to eat. You're going to eat regular food from the grocery store. You can even eat out at restaurants. You just follow the plan. It's kind of a when to eat, how much to eat, making some good choices, and you can lose weight fast. I did it. You can do it too. Tier 1s, they've lost thousands of pounds now in San Diego. Just set up your free consultation by going to sdfatloss.com. Do it today and take advantage of the summer special here in the month of June. Take an extra $200 off the program. It's worth it. The back pain, gone. Knee pain, gone. Sleeping better, more energy, just all the good stuff that comes with weight loss can be yours at sdfatloss.com. That's sdfatloss.com. Results may vary.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Talked about it yet, Woods, but I did watch a bunch of the matchup between Paul Skeens and Jacob Mizorowski.
Incredible, man.
Yesterday. Two just absolutely electric arms.
How does Jacob Mizorowski make Paul Skeens look like somebody else, not Paul Skeens?
That's concerning that one of those two teams is in the wild card race with the Padres and feels like they just added a huge piece for the stretch. The Reds, with the Padres face, also seem to have added what could be a huge piece in Chase Burns. Our friend Eno Saris has written about both of those guys and more for The Athletic, and we were going to chat with him with some smart baseball right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is brought to you by the Salute to Heroes Golf Tournament, July 28th at Loma Santa Fe Country Club. A couple accidents in the North County. One is a crash involving a motorcycle on the Palomar Airport Road off-ramp northbound 5. It's over to the left shoulder and got a collision on westbound 78 before the 15. A couple vehicles in the center divide. The Salute to Heroes Golf Tournament is back July 28th at Loma Santa Fe Country Club. Join sport legends and celebrities and tee off to support local heroes. Register now at SanDiegoSocialLeagues.org. That's SanDiegoSocialLeagues.org. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's time for the super polished, yet to be named Smart Baseball Weekly segment with Eno Saris, son of a bitch. Brought to you by 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from the ballpark by the bay in Chula Vista. Here's Eno Saris with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Eno, I want a Jacob Mizorowski here in San Diego, please. Where do we find them?
Yes.
I want one.
Oh, can I get a Chase Burns, too?
I want
Almost
one.
had Chase Burns here, actually.
We did. We drafted him.
Him.
Yeah, just didn't sign him, unfortunately. Good morning.
Yeah, it would be nice. I mean, Mizorowski has like the exact same delivery and probably just about the exact same fastball and slider as a young Jacob deGrom.
Dude.
Without the troubling injury history.
Yet. I was just going to ask you. I mean, obviously, you watch. I saw this special they did on Skeens about his literally 4-hour pregame routine. Like, it's the craziest thing I've ever seen. You look at that and you're like, I mean, look, sometimes injuries are freaky. You know, Michael King slept on his shoulder wrong and he's been out for 2 months. And
Ryan Berger took a line drive.
Ryan Berger takes a line drive.
Know.
You never know what can happen. But the way that when you look at these guys mechanically, you know, I'm sorry, like, it's such a bummer to watch guys throw that hard now, and you go, all right. I mean, TJ, it's a TJ waiting to happen. In my mind, just because of what we've been trained to see. But when you look at their mechanics and things like that, I mean, you get the same sense?
Well, I'm working on a piece where Logan Webb was telling me that, you know, where your arm is at foot strike is a really big deal. So he talks about mechanics in that way. And, you know, I can hear that. But for me, the biggest thing that I've seen research on is the hard slider. You know, basically the slider doesn't necessarily put more stress on your arm, except that you normally throw it slow. So if you actually threw a slider 98 or whatever, then it would have more stress on your arm than a fastball at 98. And what we've seen from Mizorowski is 96 mile an hour sliders. Now the people that have thrown mid-90 sliders have all had poor injury histories. So, you know, if you were going to test, you know, Mizorowski faced Skeens the other day, and if you were going to ask me which one I would want to, like, put up more innings over the course of their career, I would absolutely take Skeens. And I also wonder, you know, on the other hand, I wonder, you know, Skeens is like an east-west guy. And I just wonder when he becomes like a 94 mile an hour sinker guy, if he, you know, doesn't have that same upside that he has now. So, you know, there's a trade-off. You know, Mizorowski's going to shine bright, and we'll see if he shines long. But Skeens may have a longer career.
Talking to Eno Saris from The Athletic. What about the Chase Burns? You know, just kind of projecting what he looks like. Padres will miss him in the series in Cincinnati, and I'm not actually too mad about it right now. But he also looked pretty nasty in his debut.
Yeah, you know, so the thing that's, you know, with Chase Burns, he has Nick Pavetta's fastball in a way. And it's a little bit, you know, he's a little bit more gassed up. He's a, you know, 98 or whatever. But the way that Nick Pavetta has a really over-the-top arm slot and gets a lot of ride, it's a little bit more expected to the hitter these days. That, you know, hitters have gotten more accustomed to ride and riding four-seamers, especially out of a high arm slot. So I'm not sure that the fastball is going to be as plus as the velocity suggests it will be. My comp for him, and this has been a little bit, this has been upsetting to some of my guys on my Discord from my podcast, but I think he's a high velo Sonny Gray, because I think the slider is really, really special. But I'm not sure how special the fastball is. So if the changeup turns into something really great, then I'll be wrong. But I see him as having a really elite slider, and so there's going to be some pressure on the other pitches he throws.
Let's talk some hitting, if we could, Eno Saris. We are still confounded here in San Diego as to what to do with our beloved Luis Arraez, and I know it really is one of the most hot button topics. Like in our group chat this morning, you know, moved him up to the leadoff spot yesterday. Yeah, he got 3 hits yesterday, you know, and you know, helped us win a ball game, a 1-0 ball game, but swung at a pitch probably 2 feet outside that would have been also ball 4. And you're like, you scratch your head and you're like,
cricket, not baseball.
It's cricket. Like, he would dominate in cricket. Oh my God, he'd be the best cricket player of all time. In your opinion, your professional opinion, who spends hours poring over stuff like this, if you were Mike Schilt and you were the manager of the San Diego Padres, where would you hit Luis Arraez?
5.
Okay, we've seen 4 recently. 5 is and now what's
2 for most of the season?
2 for most of the season. 1 the last couple days.
So he's, in terms of getting on base, it's not his best skill.
Right.
And what I've seen from lineup analysis is that you first of all, you want your very best hitters second and third. That's just, they get the most ABs. If you kind of want your very best hitters first, second, and third.
Right.
But if you want to put a guy first that, you know, has good on base ability but not great power, you can do that. But you basically put your best hitters first, second, and third. Where it starts to get interesting is that in 4 you want if you have a guy who's slug over OBP, you put a guy there because he's a little bit more likely to come on with people on base. So you kind of want him to hit a homer. And 5 is a good place to put someone who has really good contact ability, because again, you're going to have traffic on in front of them, and what you want is push that guy over or drive that guy in. So I would do. I mean, 4 it makes a little bit of sense, and 5 I think is my favorite spot for him. Another thing I would say is, as much as we've seen some slight improvements from certain guys in terms of plate discipline, what I've found is a lot of the guys that have a 1-year improvement in plate discipline fall back. I think plate discipline is innate. I think, and I've talked to a bunch of hitting coaches and hitting coordinators about this. I don't think you can coach plate discipline very much.
Can't teach it.
I don't think you can teach it. I think that's you as a player. You have an innate eye at the plate.
So I'm looking at the highest OBP for the San Diego Padres right now. Manny Machado would be your leadoff hitter. Fernando Tatis would be 2. Bogarts, I mean, if you're just going by OBP, which you're not. But you said for the top of the order, highest OBP guy would be Manny. That doesn't make a lot of sense.
Bogarts actually makes some sense.
You think Bogarts?
Bogarts actually makes sense. Yeah, Bogarts.
I think Cronenworth makes some sense.
His has come down.
How does he rank in OBP?
It doesn't even show. It just shows top 5 right now.
Really?
And he's not in the top 5.
He was there for a while.
Well, wait, 358.
Yeah, 358 is pretty
That's
good.
higher. That's higher than Manny.
Yeah.
Why did it do that? I guess it sorted it
I would
wrong.
put Cron first. Manny, Tatis in some order. I don't really care, one or the other. And then you got to have a lefty. So Merrill 4.
I could see it.
I could see that. Yeah.
Interesting.
Then Arise, then Bogarts, then Sheets.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Eno.
You can push Arise as far down as 6 if you want to go lefty righty down there.
Yeah.
Eno, I think it's time. I'm going to at least offer you the opportunity to take a victory lap on Adrian Morejon.
Yes, this is your moment, dude.
This
is your moment.
I mean, for years, you kept telling us, Adrian Morejon, I love his stuff. He's projecting, and we just laughed and rolled our eyes and going, it's Adrian Morejon, dude. It's not going to happen. He has been the best Padres relief pitcher, and I don't think there's any argument about it. And what he did over the past 2 days was just like next level, getting 2 innings when they needed him in the 4th and doing it on, was it 23 pitches, 22 strikes, and then coming back and getting a save yesterday with Suarez facing, with the game on the line, C.J. Abrams and James Wood. And I mean, you were on Adrian Morejon from the very beginning.
Yeah, I even thought he could maybe start, but hey, I'll take the victory lap on a plus reliever, and super important for them as Jason Adams has gotten gassed, and kind of guys have been overused to some extent. So Morejon has really stepped up.
He really has. He's been outstanding to watch, really outstanding. And you feel so confident when he comes in. They're in the chat screaming at me to ask you who the Padres need to target at the deadline bat-wise. Are you a believer in Luis Robert Jr.? Ryan O'Hearn is an interesting one. Doesn't hit lefties particularly well. Stowers is another one you kind of always hear. Anybody maybe off that radar, or somebody that maybe you think?
I mean, there's Jesus Sanchez too. With the Marlins, I think he could be available. I like O'Hearn. I like the power. I think that somebody with power is where they should be kind of focusing, because they make such great contact, and just another power stick in left field. I'd take almost any of them, but O'Hearn really fits the bill for me.
Yeah, it's just such a necessary, you have to get somebody. Anybody's going to be an upgrade. That's a good way to go in the trade deadline, is pretty much anybody's going to be an upgrade over what we have.
They have the easiest spot to upgrade. Yeah. Although with Sheets kind of doing okay out there, that's been a bit of an upgrade just by putting him out there, but I think they can get him back to DHing, and that'll ultimately help them. I mentioned Abrams and Wood, and your colleague, our Linsider, Dennis Lynn, who comes on Mondays, had a piece this morning talking to AJ Preller. When they won the first game of the series on Monday, the Nationals tweeted fleeced, and Abrams and Wood both tormented the Padres that day. Of course, the Padres win the next 2. You can't decide a trade on one series, but AJ to Dennis Lynn said, I'm not only not unhappy or regret that trade, it's one of my proudest trades of my entire career, is acquiring Juan Soto getting the prospects, getting that deal done, and then getting what we got for Juan Soto on the back end. What's your kind of now bigger picture view of the original Juan Soto deal for the Padres?
Yeah, I mean, I think to some extent it's a testament to his ability to his eye for players, his ability to spot players. He was able to amass such a great quantity of really top-end elite talents that he could go get Juan Soto. That's not easy to do. I think it's a real testament to his abilities. But, on the other hand, I think probably the one that hurts is James Wood because I think Abrams was the headliner for that deal. He might have made the right decision on Hassel, including Hassel in the deal, who looks like he might just be, like a fourth outfielder type guy. But Wood is just so special.
So special.
I bet you if you were actually in the room with them, Wood was the one that was actually making the deal or not making. You know what I mean?
It was.
I think Rizzo
Merrill.
wanted Merrill though.
Merrill
so
or
they
Wood.
ended up on Wood. I mean, you wouldn't have wanted to give up Merrill either. So
would you give up Merrill for Wood?
That's right.
Ooh, spicy.
That's a question you don't want to talk about. That's a question you don't want to answer. Yep. That's a question you don't want to answer.
Merrill's the shortstop. Hey, at the time, Merrill's the shortstop. So no, I don't give up Merrill at the time. Now looking backwards, I don't know.
Ooh.
Yeah, Wood is really special power bat.
He's nasty. He's really, really nasty. No, he did K it up 3 times yesterday, along with CJ Abrams. They're going to have bad games, and Nationals aren't really going anywhere. Haven't really done anything with the WAR that they've accumulated. That was part of Dennis's piece. Like they haven't done anything with it. So at the end of the day, if they don't do anything with it, did you lose that trade? I don't know.
Also contend, and we didn't really talk about this, but the value of keeping the fan base excited and engaged,
it's
and
massive.
Selling out every game and showing that you're trying to win, I think is extremely important for this Padres franchise. Given their lack of a TV deal, they have to keep the fan base, just salivating every single season. And waiting on James Wood and CJ Abrams for 3 or 4 years wasn't going to get it done, and I just don't think they could have afforded that kind of patience either way.
The only thing that drives attendance, and they care about attendance, as you point out with the TV deal and the Chargers leaving town and the opportunity that arose that like, hey, this could be our town. The thing they care about most is attendance. The only thing that drives attendance, it's not necessarily big names. So it's not like get Soto, it's winning. And you can't take a step back from winning. You have to, like, every year that you rebuild, you lose 2 years of attendance. And that's why, it's even hard for, like, the Orioles they don't sell out like they used to. Because when they were back in the day, when the Orioles were good, they won for a bunch of years in a row. And then they lost all of that goodwill when they did the hard rebuild. So, yeah, I mean, I think you got to think about that. This has been building all the way since, the first day when he got here and he got Matt Kemp and
he tried and failed.
Upton.
Yeah.
Tried and failed.
Now he's tried and done a lot better. We're out of time, Eno.
Best,
we'll
dude.
talk
Thank
to you in
you.
a couple of weeks. Appreciate it as always.
Thanks,
brother.
Eno Saris, Smart Baseball, brought to you by 7 Mile Casino. Always one of our favorites.
It's the worst question I've ever asked on the radio.
So
by the
bad.
way, it's number one.
I thought about it quietly, and I thought I'm never.
I
gonna
actually
say that out
didn't
loud.
until just now.
Oh, yeah, I thought about it
and
quietly.
I go,
don't wanna say
oh
that out
God,
loud. Because
oh.
it's so impossible. We love Merrill. Wouldn't want to give up Merrill.
No,
but
love
Wood
him.
is so enticing.
So
too.
good.
So tough.
Tough call for them.
All right, we got the final hour. Ryan will report and Throwback Thursday. Whoa, what clips Paulie has next year on the Fan. Final hour of Ben and Woods on a Thursday. Then we
Not
head over
really.
to our sound space for the roundtable, which will feature a large percentage of the Ben and Woods cast. I believe
all of it.
100% of Ben and Woods and Paul all heading over to our sound space for the roundtable from 10 to 11 o'clock. But this hour will be devoted to a little throwback Thursday, at least at the beginning. Why don't we just get right to it? Paulie, I think, has 3 clips.
Yeah, the threesome would be fun.
From our past history this week.
Yeah. Let's see. Where do you want to start? You want to go like reverse chronological here?
Sure.
Okay. This was our first clip is from this week in 2021. And I don't exactly remember how we got down this road, but we were talking about adult robots
Obviously
on the way. This was, I mean, again, back in 2021, this was like the first story probably about that phenomenon that is adult toys. And we were talking, and Ben issued a challenge to Woods to do a live read, an ad lib, an advertisement for anything.
Sex doll.
Anything. I just said anything.
I thought it was
And
for sex doll.
we had just talked about sex dolls, so that was on the mind, and
Okay.
this is how it went. I thought you did pretty good, actually, Woodsy.
This is now a bit that I like, and since you always put me on the spot, Woods, I am going to give you random things to endorse, and then you've got to do a 60-second spot for whatever I give you
Okay.
to
Sounds
endorse.
wrong.
Like, sex. Okay, sex doll, go.
On the spot?
Yeah.
Hey guys, Woodsy here from Ben and Woods. Wanted to tell you about a new discovery that has just made its way to my front door. Listen, I know it may sound a little odd, but listen, my wife works weird hours. I work weird hours, and sometimes I can't handle my business the way that I want to handle my business. That's why I sometimes use Real Girl. Real Girl is made of silicone, and it really honestly feels like the real thing. I couldn't endorse a product more. It's easy to store, and it's easy to clean. So try Real Girl at realgirl.com. Yeah, not bad.
Paul, cut that, send it to the account.
Real
The
Girl
account
people.
Use the
exec.
code Woodsy.
Use the code Woodsy at checkout.
Yes,
for 15% off.
15% off.
Initial.
Yeah, make sure to tell them Woods from Ben and Woods sent you when you go in.
As opposed to Ben sending you from
Yeah,
Ben and Woods.
correct.
Yeah.
It's just Woods from
Right.
Ben and Woods. It's very easy
Nowadays,
to
it would be known as Doll Lila, but
Yes.
then it was Real Girl.
very easy to clean. Yeah, you take it in the backyard, you turn the hose up, wipe it down, you're good to go. Good to go.
That was 4 years
I've always
ago.
been pretty good on my feet.
Yeah.
I've always been
Yeah.
pretty good on my feet.
That was some good impromptu live reads right there. So that was 4 years ago. The next 2 clips both come from this week 6 years ago. Our first 3 weeks here at 97.3 The Fan. So we go to 6 years ago tomorrow. It would have, I believe it was a Friday.
It was.
And Woodsy had probably our first appearance at 97.3 The Fan. You had to go to a Vaughn's in North County somewhere.
Yeah, Vaughn's in San
with,
Marcos.
Dietz and Watson.
Dietz and Watson.
And the best
The Meat
part
Wars. The Meat Wars.
I mean,
Yes.
there is so much going on with this clip here that I'm about to show. And if you're watching on YouTube, I have the video of it. But there is a part of this clip that we still use
It's lived
about 85 times a year.
93 times last year.
No. Only like
70 times last year.
Something
60,
times.
yeah.
69, 70
Yeah,
times.
we do it for the
Real
look
ones
at that
will
beard.
remember.
Good God.
You are at the Vaughn's and just a complete stranger, right? Walking
Yeah,
out.
walked up. Hey, what's going on here? Well, we're giving away meat. Dietz and Watson.
Yeah.
Have some Dietz and Watson.
Oh, what
Enjoy
station
yourself.
are you on?
What station you on? 97.3 The Fan. Oh, is that the Padres? Yep.
I don't care if I never come back. So it's root for the Padres. It's a shame if they lose. So it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Amazing. Trailblazer. It is one
Nathan Lane.
It's
making it
one of my
It's the
favorite
San
things
Marcos Fonz.
that has ever happened to me at a remote.
You hear the drop every time the Padres lose the next
it's
morning.
A shame.
I don't see the video too often. I went and pulled it for this morning. The guy's like tatted up.
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
Big beard.
You can physically see him realize I don't know the next line.
I don't know the words.
Yeah, it's biker dude crossed with Broadway show tune singer.
Yes.
He's amazing.
Guy's incredible. And he
But
just
of course the lyric is if they don't win, it's a shame.
Back.
This is my
So
favorite
it's
part.
Root for the Padres. It's a shame if they
The pause. The oh no.
See, I can't remember the next line.
What's the next line?
If they don't win, it's a shame.
He comes up and just is like, and I couldn't believe it. He just, and you notice I'm halfway in. I was fumbling to get my phone out to record it. I should have just had him do another take.
Right.
He just in the hallway outside just goes into
The
it.
other great part though of that clip and that day is that's when we learned about the meat wars. If no one knows what I was talking about, Dietz and Watson, they advertised with us for a while, and Woodsy heard the story about how ruthless the competition between Dietz and Watson and Boar's Head is. To get, you'll never see them like in the same supermarket.
No.
There'll be one or the other, and it is absolutely cutthroat about who gets their meat into the deli cases at different supermarkets.
The guy was telling me the story, and I couldn't believe it because I love the Mafia. I love La Cosa Nostra so much. It's like such a, I don't want to say passion of mine, but let's just say this. If I was Italian, I would figure out how to sign up. All right. So I love it. I'm fascinated by it. I always have been. And he was telling me these stories, and I'm like, you're joking. He goes, oh, no. Like there were phone calls and I just crazy. The meat wars of like the 80s. I think it was like the 80s or 90s. And it was just like, wow, okay. I just figured, hey, you guys make meat? Will you make meat? No, it's like anything. Competition is fierce. You want to take down your competition, and people were trying to take each other out and stuff. It was crazy.
If it makes you feel any better, you're definitely a made man in the San Diego radio industry.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't
you're
think I'm
made.
made. No, every other, not in the sports radio.
Who are the made men? Dave Rickards.
Yeah, Dave's made.
Yeah.
Saw's made.
Jeff and Jer.
Yeah, Saw.
Yeah. It's a small club.
I feel like I'm like
Darren.
Yeah,
I think he's made man.
Yeah, I'm not there yet. Maybe in radio, not in sports. Everybody
Radio,
in
I think
sports.
overall
everybody in
radio.
sports hates me. So
Hillary,
100%. She's made woman. Yeah. They don't make women in the Mafia, but they should. They should. If it was my Mafia, Hillary would be in it. 100%.
Bunch of people in the chat saying we need to get in touch with the guy that sang "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." I thought about that yesterday when I was prepping all of this.
Dude, if I could, he'd
if
be
you
our
are listening,
fourth chair.
Yeah,
Are
if
you
anybody,
kidding?
if anybody knows this man, I believe it was the Vaughns in Carlsbad.
No,
6
it was
years
in
ago.
San Marcos, and
San Marcos.
it was 6 years ago. If anybody knows that guy, get me in touch with him. I would hire him. He was so good and just launched into song. I couldn't believe it.
It's a shame if they lose.
Episode of Glee.
So it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the
Bring it
old ball game.
I mean, he just laid it out for me, and I loved it so much.
Well, that was a big week for us because just a few days before that, and I think this actually fell right in between. We could have done it last week. We're doing it this week. One of our first Fridays on 97.3 The Fan back in 2019. It was a staple. It was probably the reason we got hired here, let's be honest, was Ben Reed's Raps.
Yep.
So if you're going to do Ben Reed's Raps and you have Ice Cube calling into your show on the same day.
He was calling in to promote the Big Three, which is still going on, going strong. Amy Trask, our friend, and Ice Cube running the 3-on-3 basketball league.
Yeah, and well, this happened.
And I thought it would be such an honor for all of us. Can he rap for you, and then you give us your honest feedback?
Yeah, I will.
All right, here we
Go for
go.
it.
Let's get it going.
Cube, I'm sorry. And they've given me what is, I'm sure, one of your classics here. Break 'em.
Sure.
Just waking up in the morning, gotta thank God. I don't know, but today seems kind of odd. No barking from the dog, no smog. And Mama cooked a breakfast with no hog. Damn. I got my grub on, but didn't pig out. Finally got a call from a girl I want to dig out. What's up? Hooked it up for later as I hit the dough, thinking that I will live another 24. I got to go because I got me a drop top, and if I hit the switch, I can make the ass drop. Had to stop at a red light, looking in my mirror, and not a jacker in sight. And everything is all right. I got a beep from Kim, and she can F all night. Called up the homies, and I'm asking y'all, which park are y'all playing basketball? Get me on the court, and I'm trouble. Last week, it's around and got a triple-double. Freaking ins every way like MJ. I can't believe today was a good day.
Oh, my God, it's amazing.
That's great rhyming structure. It really is good stuff. But.
Cube, all right, just, Ben, quiet for a second. I want to get the honest feedback from the author of that song, Ice Cube.
Lord have mercy. You know, I've never had my lyrics butchered. Yeah. For the Method Man, now we got Mayonnaise Man.
Mayonnaise Man.
Oh, Mayonnaise Man!
Mayonnaise Man.
Mayonnaise Man. Dead. I'm deceased. That's the best moment I've ever had in radio. Right there, that very second.
I'm so sorry. I'm so embarrassed.
I love when he goes
6 years later.
When he goes, hit the
dough, I don't know,
and you hear Q go, me Q was saying a dough.
Hooked it up for later as I hit the dough.
My favorite is when we're talking to him at the end and he hears you and me laughing and he goes, huh.
You know, I've never had my lyrics butchered. Yeah.
Right there. That little
That was epic. You know, we're going to Philadelphia this weekend. They have some long tradition of insane hip hop and rap artists. Maybe tomorrow, in honor of our trip and our week off, maybe we bring it back for a day.
Ooh, Philadelphia,
Philly style,
but not like Motown Philly, Boys to Men. You're not going to get off that easy.
You're not going to rap the Fresh Prince of
Will
Bel Air.
Smith.
Not going to rap
Philly to Bel Air. I'm quite sure.
Born and
raised.
Maybe we'll just have you do it for an hour. Just kill some clock tomorrow. There's no game tonight.
We got Shilty on early at 8 o'clock tomorrow instead of 9. So we got plenty of time in our 9 o'clock hour tomorrow. If you want to come up with something, I'm game.
All right, deal.
Some Meek Mill,
Lil Uzi Vert is from there. There's a bunch, man. There's a bunch of really. Is J. Cole from Philly? Or is he from the South? I think he's
J.
from the
Cole.
South.
I don't think
He's
it's
from
from
like
Philly.
North Carolina or something. There's a bunch of good ones. Yeah, Meek Mill's from there. There's a lot of good ones. Questlove's from there.
Lil Dicky.
Lil Dicky's from there. That's right. That's right. Really, really good. Yeah, that was a really fun moment, man. Having him on and having the idea to do that, and you having the stones to do it, and him being cool enough to be like, "Go ahead."
That could have gone really badly.
He
was dead right now.
Yeah. He was so cool about it, and always like that.
It is fun. All right, we have not gone through the rest of baseball. There was nearly history made yesterday in Major League Baseball. Take a look at some of the other results, how they impacted the Padres and more, and then our Randall report coming up at the bottom of the hour. Stick around. More Ben Woods coming up after traffic here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGE 000-466. For a full list of games and rules, play at 7 Mile Casino. Visit 7milecasino.com.
Now, you were eating a cold pork chop earlier this morning.
I was.
Does not compare to the chop that you like to get on the 24/7 players menu at 7 Mile Casino.
It's not even close, man. The pork chop at 7 Mile Casino is delicious, but look, the food is all really, really, really good there. But I love the California style blackjack. That's why I go to 7 Mile Casino. The food is just an extra for me. It's a bonus. But I love to play California style blackjack. They got the best spot in town to do it.
I'm more of a Texas Hold'em player. They also have Pai Gow Poker and Baccarat. All the comfortable seats, tables, the friendly dealers. It's light. It's airy. There's no slot machines. There's no smoke. There's TVs all over the place and a great patio that looks right out onto San Diego Bay over toward Coronado and the Silver Strand. It's really gorgeous, especially this time of year. Be great for brunch this weekend. They got the award-winning Best in the South County Saturday and Sunday brunch from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. So many reasons to check out 7 Mile Casino and no reason not to because it's so easy to get to. Right down the 5 freeway in Chula Vista, west side of the freeway, Bay Boulevard. 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from downtown.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Well, offense can be a little bit of a challenge in Major League Baseball nowadays, as witnessed by yesterday's results around the league. There were 7 shutouts yesterday, including the Padres' 1-0 win over the Washington Nationals. I believe that was one off the single-day record of 8 shutouts in one day in Major League Baseball.
Chicken or the egg?
I don't see how you. I don't see
pitching better or the hitters worse.
Or both.
Both. All of it.
Chicken and the egg.
Chicken and the egg.
I think it's mostly pitching is a lot harder nowadays.
It's so nasty. The Pitching Ninja really sums it up for you every day. If you are on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, and just go watch Pitching Ninja. Watch the overlays. Watch the Jacob Mizorowski. Watch his overlays, and you look at it. It's 102 paint, or it's a 96 mile an hour slider, and they are tunneled the same. I watched a really cool video of Skeens the other day talking about Benny, how he uses his misses. And how Zach Gallen does it really well too. They use
not Livy Dunn as his misses.
No, that's not a miss for him. That's a hit. Not his misses. They're not married yet either.
Oh, they're not.
No, they're just living in sin. Sinners. But he talks about how he uses misses. So he'll go change up away, and it's missed badly. And you'll hear sometimes Don go, "That's an uncompetitive pitch."
Right.
It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. The next pitch he throws is a slider on the outside corner that is tunneling that way, but it breaks back over the middle, and the guy is flummoxed because he's got that long to decide. It's really, really tough, and these guys are getting better, smarter. The revolutionary stuff that they've come up with for pitching, being able to track all of this stuff and how well they can do spin and tunnel and all that, like the hitters haven't quite caught up yet. And I think it's evidenced by, low batting averages and fewer of everything.
The kicker kind of to all of this is 7 shutouts, but some of the best pitching performances weren't in shutouts. Of course, we talked about the Mizorowski-Skeens matchup. That was a 4-2 win for the Brewers. Our friend Craig Calcaterra in his recap said the average fastballs of 99.5 for Miz and 98.5 for Skeens. Fastest combined velocity by two starting pitchers in the same game since they started tracking such things.
Wow.
And then the Angels won 5-2 over the Red Sox. Yusei Kikuchi was fantastic. Struck out 12 over 7 innings and allowed 2 unearned runs in that game. And guess what? The Angels, they're back to 500. They're 40-40. They are a game and a half, I believe, out of a playoff spot. They're not going to be trading Taylor Ward or anybody else anytime soon. And there really aren't any other teams other than the ones we've been talking about that are out of it that you can really count on to be sellers at the deadline. The White Sox are one of them. They did win yesterday to beat the Diamondbacks. Thank you for getting one in that series. Lenyn Sosa hit a couple of home runs, and pretty much every other game in baseball other than the Mets beating the Braves was a shutout.
But quickly, you brought up the Angels, and they swept the Boston Red Sox, and that is a team that really nobody knows what they're going to do. I guess Breslow was on local radio today saying, no, we need to improve this team, and we think we can. And that's a team, Ben, the Boston Red Sox. If they don't make the playoffs this year, that is 1, 2, 3, 4 years in a row that they have not made the playoffs. That is unacceptable. San Diego Padres are making the playoffs, right? They consistently, lately making the playoffs.
3 times in the last 5 seasons.
3 times in the last 5 seasons. 0 for 4, potentially, if they don't get there this year. They may be a team that if they don't right the ship, and I mean like tonight, like tonight, tomorrow,
like
the next day,
the next two series determine their whole season.
If they go terribly, what is going to happen? Are they going to unload? Are they going to, start moving pieces? Could be a team that you could deal with potentially. So, man, I'm kind of rooting on their downfall because they do have some nice players that maybe would help here. But yeah, you really need the Angels if they're going to end up selling some of their pieces off, Benny. You need them to start dropping games, and it doesn't look like they're going to anytime soon.
The Dodgers quietly have moved to the best record in baseball, tied with the Detroit Tigers.
Can you do it quietly with a $7 billion payroll? Is it quiet?
They kind of did. They did it by beating the Rockies again yesterday. Yamamoto was throwing a shutout until it started raining. They had to take him out after 5 innings. They ended up winning 8-1. Max Muncy, another grand slam, another 6 RBI. He is, I don't know. What is that? Second grand slam in 3 days.
2 days, I thought.
2 days? Did he back-to-back days? Yeah. Well, it's 2 days and 3 days. The Giants, though, did lose to the Marlins, which was nice.
Thank you.
And I saw that the Marlins were up 4-2, and I'm going, just hold on. Bottom of the ninth, hold on. Patrick Bailey, I flipped on the Giants broadcast as I was driving into work yesterday. Their own announcer said Patrick Bailey may be the worst offensive player in baseball this season. Struck out in that at bat. Gets the 2-run single to tie it in the 9th inning, 4-4, but then the Marlins scored 4 in the top of the 10th and still ended up winning that game. So the Padres move into a second-place tie with the Giants, but they're now both kind of significantly behind the Dodgers in the standings because the Dodgers, again, have moved, what is it now? Got 5 games ahead of the Padres.
5 or 5.5?
5.5, yeah, ahead of both the Padres and the Giants in the NL West, which isn't insurmountable, but the Dodgers, you don't expect them to go through long stretches of going 2-8 where you can make up big ground in a couple of week period.
So you're telling me that it's playing out exactly how we all said it
is.
Exactly. There was no distinction.
Maybe it was the Diamondbacks that were tied with the Padres here, but not the Giants. But other than that, this is kind of what we expected now.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, the fact that they're 50-31 should surprise literally no one. Now, I understand. I take into account, all the starting pitching injuries that they've had. Certainly. But they've managed to figure it out, Benny, and as we all knew they would be. They're a very good baseball team. They're a very good baseball team. So are they beatable? Sure, absolutely. They've been beaten 31 times this year.
They're not as historically good as we kind of may have speculated at the beginning of the year, but that's mostly due to starting pitching injuries.
Correct.
Cubs shut out the Cardinals 8-0. Cool off the Cardinals a little bit. Padres move back ahead of them in the very competitive wild card race. The Reds did lose 7-1. Max Fried, another good pitching performance yesterday. Just 1 run over 7 innings. He was really, really good in that game. Twins shut out the Mariners 2-0. Rays shut out the Royals 3-0. Astros shut out the Phillies. Phillies have been shut out 2 days in a row, 1-0 and then 2-0 by the Astros in that game. It was just shutout city in Major League Baseball yesterday. A's, Rangers shut out the Orioles 7-0. So, yeah, scoring was very difficult. And Max Scherzer returned. He did give up 3 runs, and the Guardians beat the Blue Jays 5-4.
Oh, I forgot he was coming back.
He did come back.
Yeah, interesting.
Looked healthy, not dominant, but I mean, he is what, 38?
39, I think.
39,
he's
yeah.
up there.
But he is pitching again, and the Blue Jays are definitely in it in the wild card race in the American League.
Yeah, awesome.
All right, let's take our final time out. When we come back, Paulie, got some Roundel Report headlines for us?
Yep.
He does. Congratulations.
What a tease. My God.
I mean, if he had
It's
said
Radio
no,
101.
I don't know. No might have been a more interesting tease.
No.
Nope.
All
Nothing.
right. Surprise us.
Top Gun 3. Let's talk about it.
Really? Two
I know.
is such a success. I mean,
I know.
It's cash cow.
I know.
I hope. Is there any way that they can? We'll talk about it when we come back. Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Well, we already talked about my excursion down to Sedano Ford yesterday and my beautiful, beautiful social media reel. You can see that on my Instagram. I'm sure they were very appreciative. But it was it's always a good time to go down there. And you forget just how many incredible vehicles they have till you get up right next to them. And, of course, Manny Sedano, local veteran-owned dealership, had our buddy in the chat, Brock, talking about the incredible deal he got at Sedano Ford. Said it was the best car buying experience of his life. Yeah, it's pretty high praise, and they really do it the right way. They're going to take good care of you. Great people down there. So, look, I know it can be frustrating to buy a new car or truck. They really try to make it as easy on you as they can. That I promise you. It's a brand definitely that I've stood behind my entire life, and they got killer deals right now. The Ford F-150 STX Super Crew cab, saw it yesterday, just $299 a month. The Bronco Big Ben, one of my favorite automobiles on the road, just $271 a month. The all-electric Mustang Mach-E Select, just $157 a month. They have a deal coming up with the new electric truck. It's $1 down. All right, so you're going to want to find out about that deal for July 4th. I'll have more information on that as we get closer. But head on over to Sedano Ford in La Mesa today, or go online to sedanoford.com.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Peel back the curtain for a moment. We just recorded the promo for our show tomorrow during the break. And I just want to remind everybody one more time that Mike Schilt is going to join us early at 8 a.m., but we will also have our Friday guest, Darren Smith, joining us in studio. He's coming by a little early, around 7:15, so he'll be in for the rest of that 7 o'clock hour, then straight into Schilty at 8 o'clock, and as Woods has said, a little Ben Reed's Raps in honor of our trip to Philadelphia.
Why not?
At 9 o'clock.
Not.
Didn't because I was looking at the list of like famous rappers, hip hop artists from Philadelphia, and I still think Meek Mill's probably the biggest one for us to choose a song and some lyrics for tomorrow. Didn't Meek Mill, wasn't he a part of the...
He is responsible for
the beginning of
the
Ben
beginning
Reed's
of,
Raps.
yeah, you were talking, you go...
The Robert Kraft story.
Robert Kraft story, got him out of jail, or picked him up
There's
out
a
of a
sports
helicopter
story.
to
Yeah,
get him or
plane
something.
And we were like, well, what would it sound? We should make Ben read some Meek Mill lyrics.
Yeah,
I
Ben's
think
like,
that's how it started.
Meek Mill?
What's a Meek Mill?
Yeah. And so I said, well, tomorrow on the show, we'll bust it out and see what you sound like reading rap lyrics. And as the whitest man in America, it was a sensation. An immediate overnight
Now we got
sensation.
mayonnaise man.
That's right. It was brilliant.
So that's all coming up tomorrow on
You
the
still
Ben
have
Reed's
your
program.
chains and stuff?
Yeah, they're still back.
Oh
They're
my
back
god.
there.
Those are like the belong
Kangol.
those belong in the
Kangol and chains are still
those
ready
belong in the
and
Hall
waiting.
of Fame, dude.
You never know when at a moment's notice
That's right.
you may need to start reading some raps and breaking out the chains and the Kangol.
That pork chop is rearing its ugly
Is
head
it?
on me. It is. So maybe I'm not ready.
Hmm.
You guys can handle the round table.
No,
without me,
yeah,
right?
no. You
Okay.
do not get a pork chop free pass.
Really?
For the round table.
I mean, I had violent diarrhea for a week, and I did every show. I didn't take any passes.
We already don't have Tony because he's in Cincinnati.
You did
We
go
don't
to
have
the emergency
Sammy
room
because
I
he's
did
in
go to the
jail.
ER. Yeah.
We need you, Woods. We need you.
You don't.
We
You
need
just
to
heard
post.
all my takes.
We need you to post. You're like
Fine,
Manny.
I'll be Manny.
You're Manny.
I'll
Did you even
post.
see? You even see what Manny said after the game yesterday?
No.
I'm tired.
He looked it. He looked it, dude. I told you earlier there was that foul pop up, and he was like, he was late to it. Like he's not. Now he had
so
to,
far away.
He had to run. He had to run a piece to get it, man. And I thought about that year that friggin' Tingler had him out playing right field.
Oh my god!
In the shift, and I'm like, that took a year off of his career, a whole year.
That play that he made in the corner in
one of the
Texas,
best
I think
I've
it
ever
was.
seen.
Insane.
Oh God! And I like, and he did it really well. Man, him in the shift was just a thing of beauty. But it probably took a year off his career, man. He's got busted up ankles, got busted up knees. When he missed that ball yesterday, I went, "Oh no, dude, he is cashed."
All right, we'll wrap things up. Paulie's got his headlines for the Rondo Report coming up after our last check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, your 15-minute drive-through oil change. Couple of problems in the North County. Watch out for a bicycle in the right lane, northbound 5 Coastline, right past Del Mar Heights Road. Also, to vehicle accident, Mira Mesa Boulevard, on-ramp to South 15. That's been moved over to the right shoulder. San Diego summers mean beach days, road trips, ball games. Make sure your ride's ready with Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Drive in, stay in your car, and be done in about 15 minutes. No appointment needed. For coupons, visit SoCalOilChange.com. And Kelly Danick with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report.
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Okay, how are you?
On 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a oh yeah?
All right.
All right. Happy Thursday, gentlemen. Let's see where to start. We'll start off in Major League Baseball. The All-Star game coming up in just a few weeks. Going to be in Atlanta this year. So this news made a ton of sense yesterday when Ronald Acuna Jr. committed to the Home Run Derby. You always want to have a hometown star there if you can. And he's committed. He's the first one to commit to the Home Run Derby, I believe.
That's it.
For this year. Yeah, it's
Really?
probably right around that time, maybe in the next week or so.
Okay.
You'll probably see a few more.
Who else would you like to see?
Derry Bonds.
No, I always like to see Pete Alonso.
Do you like to
What?
see? It's actually pretty good. Pretty good.
He takes
Theater.
it seriously. I mean,
he does deadlifts between shifts.
We'll never.
it's the only time I really do take Pete Alonso seriously is during the Home Run Derby. He's having a really good season too.
He gets so into it. I guess I as I used to mock his earnestness, now I think I appreciate it. Cal Raleigh would be pretty elite.
Big dumper.
Big dumper.
Yeah, if you go by home run leaders, Cal Raleigh, Aaron Judge, Shohei Ohtani,
Judge
Eugenio
said he's
Suarez,
out. Judge is out.
Kyle Schwarber would be fun.
Schwarber would be incredible.
Any Padres?
James Wood.
No Padres in there. I don't want Manny in it.
I don't either.
Multiple reasons. Number one, I don't want you to embarrass yourself. I don't think
Gavin
you would.
Sheets would be kind of fun.
He's not going to be an all-star, so you're not
I
going to fly him out there. He's not.
Sometimes
he
they
has
do.
12
Sometimes
home
they
runs or
do have non-all-stars competing in the
Well,
Derby.
I don't think Acuna is going to make the team, right? Because he just got back like a month ago.
Yeah, I don't know where he's at in voting.
But
Paul Skeens.
Interesting. You want to make it really interesting? Have him throw the home run. Good luck, guys.
It'd be the
Winner
most
with
boring.
one.
Yeah, right.
Campusano, if they did it in El Paso, he would win.
Just have AAA pitchers come up. He'd
They
be
do a AAA
unstoppable.
All-Star
Yeah.
game, don't they?
Oh,
Do they do a home run
I would
derby in
assume
AAA?
they do.
Acuna is fourth, and he's fourth in voting. Maybe he will be an all-star.
Yeah, I thought he's getting votes.
And you know what? A little less wear and tear for the late start, but he's played really, really well.
Yeah.
A locked
since he
in
came
Fernando
back.
Tatis Jr. would be sure as hell fun
Paulie,
to watch,
you gotta
but
in mind
I
his
don't
wrist
want it.
would snap
No,
or
that's the
something,
thing.
dude.
Exactly.
Oh.
I don't want it. I don't want it.
When I
put
was
on a show.
When I was a kid, I was like, I want to see my favorite play. Now I'm like, I don't want anybody to pull an oblique. I don't want you to run the. If your team's out of it, you're like, hell yeah, get out there. But Jose Ramirez would be really good. Yeah, he hits tanks. PCA would be an interesting one. Be an interesting.
Might be able to get him to do it as
Oh,
a
yeah.
rookie. Hasn't had a chance to participate.
All right, we'll keep it in Major League Baseball. Now, we still have a lot of baseball to go, but teams do have to plan for the future, the immediate future, potentially making a playoff push. And the Tampa Bay Rays right now are actually playing pretty decent baseball.
They are,
And 10 games above 500.
they're
They're
in
3.5 games up in the wild card race, first in the American League wild card race.
They're in logistical hell right
Yeah,
now.
a lot of people in baseball now starting to think ahead and go, all right, if the Rays hold on and have a good season and make the playoffs, what does that look like at George Steinbrenner Field in Tampa where they're playing?
It doesn't.
What's the stadium capacity? Isn't it like 12,000?
Yeah, about 11,000.
11,000?
Yeah.
Can't do it.
You can't have MLB playoff games there.
Well,
with
I think people are going, well,
11,000
why
seats.
not? I mean, you're playing regular season games there. What's the difference? And maybe you get away within the wild card round or even the division series. But once you get to the LCS and the World Series, if they advance that far, like Major League Baseball, like gives 10,000 tickets per game to like sponsors and TV partners and everything, and
That's the whole stadium.
vested interest. You won't have any room for any fans.
Are
in
there
the
more
ballpark
than
at all.
1,000 Rays fans?
I don't know. Someone
Period.
pointed out, even when they were playing at the Trop, they drew like 17,000 to a playoff game. So
True.
Yeah.
they don't need that much extra
Maybe
space.
you guys just settle down. Don't
but
worry
they also
about
don't
it.
want to give up home field advantage. They can't play at the Trop. Where do you go?
Well, I mean, sucks to suck. It's like it's not their fault, but it's also like kind of their fault. They don't have fans anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so
I mean, the hurricane was not their fault, but like this has been a problem for them for pretty much forever.
for a long time, and so where does it make sense? Miami? You go to Miami. They're not going to be in it, so go to Miami.
It's probably the most sense, I guess.
I mean,
but
it's during football season. I don't even think you could makeshift a football.
No, you just go to
stadium
Miami.
into a baseball field.
Yeah, Miami will probably narrowly miss the playoffs this year, so I think that will be open for them. How embarrassing would it be to be in that general vicinity? And they're like, "Well, you guys aren't in it. Can we use your field?" I mean,
I think Atlanta is just
terrible.
as close as
Is it?
Miami to Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
So that's a possibility, I guess. It's still not a good home field advantage, though.
No.
None of your fans can really go unless they travel.
But again, how much home field advantage were you going to have? 17,000 for a playoff series, right?
The A's were smart. They're not going to make an issue of this by being terrible.
Being terrible, yeah.
They'd have the same
You got-
thing in
if-
Sacramento.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe the next 2 years, though. They're still there for a while. They did break ground on their new Vegas stadium this week on
So
the Strip.
Adam says Tampa's drawing about 9,000 to games right now.
There's room.
There's a room already. 6 hours to Atlanta, 3 to Miami from Tampa. Yeah. Tampa to Miami is like 4 hours. Okay. Yeah. You just go to Miami. They're not using it.
All right, we solved
May
that
have
issue.
to.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
you're
pretty
welcome,
easy.
Rob
That
Manfred.
wasn't hard at all.
Only took us 2 minutes.
Yeah. Piece of cake.
All right, finally, let's talk a little Hollywood. Now, I must have missed that Top Gun 3 has been a topic of conversation for a little while now. It was actually supposed to start filming last year.
I had no idea.
Me either.
Greenlit and everything.
They were that was reported to be in development back in January of 2024, and they were going to have Glenn Powell, Miles Teller bring back their roles as Rooster and Cowboy. I think was Glenn Powell.
Yeah.
So
I don't
Top
think
Gun
that's right.
3.
Is it not?
I just saw it again recently on television. I don't-
Miles Teller is Rooster. I don't remember Glenn Powell's name. I thought it was Cowboy. Iceman, because he's the Iceman villain character. Somebody will tell us in the chat. Anyways,
Hangman.
Yes, Hangman.
There was another one. Anyways, the director from the sequel, Top Gun Maverick, he did have an update, and he basically said that this will happen. Top Gun 3. It's going to be the final chapter for Tom Cruise's character Maverick, which I think is significant in that
he's 70.
Well, yeah, that. No, the director is, by saying it's the final chapter of Maverick, I'm like,
that means there's
they're
going to be
try
Top
to
Gun
milk
4s and 5s without Maverick.
They were
going to
follow Miles Teller and Glenn Powell for like 4 more movies.
Top Gun, Deep Space Nine, and
my great grandfather Maverick was not. He did not fly by the rules. Really, your great grandfather Maverick.
I think it was pretty obvious where you'd go with Top Gun 2. They pulled it off, and they did. It
was great.
Maverick was great.
Spectacularly.
But coming back as an instructor to teach the new generation. But now you've done that. Where can you really go?
Comes back as an instructor to sleep with the new generation.
He's already done that.
Did that too.
So where do you go?
The director
Space.
was talking with British GQ magazine, and he said he described the plot of the sequel as revolving around an existential crisis for Maverick.
Okay.
An existential question that Maverick has to deal with that would make Maverick feel small.
He can't deal with his feelings about Goose.
He's like 5'3"
He
anyway.
can't deal with his feelings
So
about
he's-
Goose anymore. I mean,
He said there is still
look
more.
at Ben. You need to get over it. It's been that many
It's been 8 years.
Yeah, just like yesterday. What are you upset about?
well, he got over it in the first movie when he threw the dog tags into the ocean off the flight deck.
So it was over then.
And then, of course,
Never
he
think
comes
about
back
him
in the
again.
next movie, and he's all in his feels again about Goose.
Yeah,
and then he got
'cause his
over it
son was
again at
there.
the end of the movie. What
It's
is he
his-
going to be
it's his
back in his
son.
feelings about Goose again?
He's got to protect his son. He feels responsible.
Please stay away. If I die, please stay away from my
Did.
children.
They
man.
made peace. They understood each other finally when they had to escape the off the the enemy base at the end.
Yeah.
They're good. They're good now.
They
So
really
let's
did wrap
not
it up
damage their
nicely.
relationship.
So
They did.
the GQ author that interviewed him, he pointed out to the director, he kind of said, like, the second one felt like the passing of the baton. And the director said, there's still more story to tell. There's
Yes.
one last ride. We're
Yes.
working on it now.
But not one last ride because you've left it
All
open
right,
for more rides.
Here's what I do if I'm the director. I bring Maverick back. I kill him in the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Get him out of
and
there.
they have to somehow they have to avenge
his
Maverick.
death.
Yeah.
All right.
Like the MiG pilots from the first movie come back and take out Maverick secretly, and they've got to go and
I'll see it.
fight those MiG pilots or something.
I'll see it.
I was so scared about the sequel, and
So good.
I was like, there's no way. And it was phenomenal.
Yeah, it was really well done.
So yeah, of course I'll give it a chance. And I got a couple of minutes. I saw in movie news another sequel coming out. This one I was not expecting. The Social Network, which won an Oscar back in like 2010, 2011. Jesse Eisenberg, the story of Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook. They're working on a sequel right now. Aaron Sorkin is set to write it, and he's very passionate about it. And it wants to focus more. The first one was the rise of Facebook and the creation of Facebook. This one is going to be more current time, not set in like 2003 or whatever.
Can they do it on Padres Facebook? Because that I would see. That I'll watch. That'll actually help finance.
I don't. That movie, which was actually pretty good, had a fairly positive like vibe. I don't see how you can do a positive social media.
No, it's not going to
movie
be positive.
in the year 2025.
It says here the Social Network Part 2 will focus more on the consequences of Facebook becoming the largest social media platform in the world. Negative impacts of the platform.
See,
Spread of
in the first movie,
misinformation,
you could sort of root for Zuckerberg because he felt like a bit of an underdog at the beginning. No way you can root for him anymore.
Yeah.
Who's the protagonist of this movie?
I don't know. But I'll probably see that
Mark
too.
Zuckerberg.
I'd see that's a problem for me. Don't want to watch it.
Yeah, Adam makes a good point here, and I think I glossed over you saying that it had a positive vibe. It really wasn't a positive vibe.
I mean, the creativity of like coming up with the idea and stuff. I think there was.
He didn't come
he
up with
stole
the idea.
the idea.
Well, stealing the idea and making it big, at least. He built something. Snappy dialogue.
Very
I
snappy.
do like Aaron Sorkin dialogue.
It's a slick movie.
Like The West Wing. I was a big fan.
Great soundtrack. Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross, brilliant. But I think you really missed the mark here. Did you watch the same? We talked about the
I
same
didn't
movie.
like those twins either, though. I didn't like
He
them.
says, Ben, no one was rooting for Zuck in the first movie. He
kinda
effed
was.
over his business.
I didn't like
partner.
those guys. I thought I was like, go, good, get them. Go
Man.
ahead. I actually was
I
cheering.
mean, it was
for
their
them in the first
idea.
one.
I don't think
They-
he's seen it.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
The
Winklevoss
Winklevoss
twins.
I didn't really like them in
Winklevi.
the movie, though.
I mean, he stole their idea. He screwed over his best friend, his
Yeah.
only friend.
It was
pragmatic.
It was an uncomfortable movie. Yeah, it's just more insight into who we work with, Paulie.
Yeah,
it's creepy. Creepy. Thank you, Paulie, for the round
You're
report.
welcome.
And now we sit for 3 minutes and wait for the round table, which will be
Get
coming
us
imminently.
into the proper headspaces.
I don't know.
For round tabling.
About the 2 hours every Thursday, about 8, I just shut down because it looms over me. So I can't be the one to get you in the proper headspace for it. What do you have coming up on the round table?
We have some of the same topics we discussed here on the non-round
fantastic.
table.
And then some stuff we talked about yesterday, and then Tuesday, and then Monday too.
Right.
Okay. And
But
then
with other people to add some extra dynamics to the
you know
whole
what the
thing.
round table is missing is a guest. We need a guest.
I like that idea.
I like that a lot.
different
A different-
rotating person who comes in, like we do on Big League Wednesday.
Yeah,
We'll
of
bring
course.
in someone like a different character, like the bombshell on Love Island.
Well, who would be
That
responsible for
stirs
booking
up the
these
plot.
guys?
Well, who was responsible for the round table?
That would be
Well,
Adam.
me.
Okay. Adam was a producer and a damn fine one. I think that's what the round table would need is some special guest in there to shoot the breeze with.
Doug Gottlieb will be the guest. On the round
Never mind. Never mind. I'll pass.
Ben would root for Ray Kroc in The Founder. I
Oh,
was rooting
he
for Ray
was.
Kroc in The Founder. Michael Keaton was great in that movie.
Oh, the Padres connection. Oh, okay, it's great. I like him. Yeah, it's you. What have you stolen from your friends? Is what I want to know.
I wish. It's not as cool as Zuck or Kroc.
All right.
To steal good ideas. Just play the music, Paulie. I know it's a little early, but
Can you just play it whenever you want?
I don't know. Paulie,
Yeah,
can you?
I will play it right now.
Boom.
Oh, there it is.
All right, that's it for us.
All right, that means we are done for this 4-hour program. We will be back tomorrow morning at 6 a.m.
We'll be here right
well,
now.
we'll be there, but we'll also be back here
Yes.
6 a.m. tomorrow, and it will be our final show for over a week because we're going to be gone next
buddy.
week. So get your fill of Ben Woods while you got him. Even the round table. Paulie's joining us, so don't go away. More Ben Woods on the round table coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.